Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Worcestery Council Theatre 3000. My name is Bryan O'Donnell. I'm here with Bill, Brendan, and Travis. It's going to be a dumb fucking meeting tonight, and you won't like anything you see. So let's just get over that now. Yeah.
How many weeks has it been?
It's gonna be so fucking stupid.
How many weeks has it been since we've had a dumb fucking meeting?
What's today?
Today's April 1st.
It's been
1 week.
7 days.
April Fool's Day, everybody. We are the fools. It is April, and we're all a bunch of fucking marks. So,
yeah.
Who gives a shit? Get ready to see. I think a really nuanced discussion tonight of how dumb the idea of government in America is. We're all playing a foolish game, and I can't imagine. I'm not a smart person. I can't imagine that most other countries do it worse than us, right?
No.
Like they got some stuff figured out.
They don't have as much TikTok though. We get more TikTok, so it all balances out in the end.
I don't know.
We actually have possibly have the least amount of TikTok if you take time that the service has worked in this country. We're on the lower end, I think. We had like 3 days there where there's just no TikTok at all.
Fucking geniuses. From top to bottom, the Democratic Party is just stuffed with geniuses. One of them, Mo Bergman.
Chamber, what's the difference?
As I say, it's all kind of like wrapped up together.
The same.
We could be stuck watching Cory Booker, who is
he still talking?
What is he even doing? What is he? He's not filibustering anything, right?
Well, I mean, he's filibustering to protest.
Oh,
whether or not it's going to work.
What is there a thing that he's filibustering? Or is there a bill, or is there an appointment?
I don't know the specifics. I know he's reading
just go,
letters.
Hey, this room isn't booked at 12 o'clock at midnight. Let me see how long I can hang out here.
He started at 7 yesterday, and he's 30 minutes away from going for 24 hours.
Wow.
That would be the move, Brian. We're going to run you for Senate just so you can start booking the chamber for yourself. And you're just going to filibuster open mic nights.
I'll put my projector up in the gallery, up and down in the Senate chambers. We'll play some Mario Kart while I, just tell everyone that they're being dumb and then that I'm being dumb too. Mo Bergman is a big fucking loser. This is what I mean. Like, there was something to filibuster a couple weeks ago. He voted for it. So, I don't know. Great. I guess great. I'm happy that he is doing this more than he's not, but I don't, I'm not certainly donating to his Act Blue. Thanks, Troubler. We could run two. We both have projectors, Troubler. We could run dueling projector parties.
I have a projector and Mario Kart.
It's all coming together. Screw Congress. Just a big Mario party.
I can't wait to hear what Fred Nathan has to say about this.
Brendan, you're getting compliments on your Orioles colored Bucky's hat.
Old school Orioles is new school Bucky's.
That's what I'm always saying. I'm always telling that to people.
Go down to Bucky's and get a Ripken.
Is that a type of kolache?
I imagine some kind of sweet treat.
Kolache. You know what I found out today? That kolaches are only kolaches when they're dessert ones.
Really?
The less savory ones are called something else.
Huh.
Galumpkies.
Galumpy?
That's an even different thing.
That's a whole different thing.
Galumpkies are like a cabbage burrito. So
I love
sick.
Galumpies.
Yeah.
You ever go to the White Eagle and get some Galumpies? Oh, Billy,
No.
you're having a good day then.
Chief of Police
Sunday
listening
mid
to you.
morning, some Polish food at White Eagle. That's the ticket. Wow.
Wow. I need to see some receipts on that. That's pretty cool, though, if true.
So yeah, I don't know. We're gonna see how this plays out tonight. These are two items that are, I think you could say have a decent shot of being illegal.
Yeah. I watched the
not that it's ever stopped them before.
I watched the
The
subcommittee
city is left
meeting
getting sued.
last Wednesday where Mo Bergman introduced these. They weren't on the agenda, but he came with them printed out.
Right.
And basically like socially pressured Johanna Hampton Dance, not that it was hard, into accepting like that we're gonna hold her idea of having recalls because it
Right.
takes too long. And they said that like takes too long, like so many times. And very obviously because two's not running again. So,
Right.
if you do this rule change, then that way we can punish two faster.
Right. But this isn't targeted at any one person.
But it isn't targeted, right? Because they didn't say two's name. So
And it's not their responsibility to amend their rules to hold a counselor accountable until you have an idea where it could actually hold the victim accountable.
right.
Then we're good to go, baby.
We won't consider any rule changes about calling people slurs, whether there be any sort of reprimand for that. But
No.
not showing up for work.
I mean,
Come on.
I would also say beyond the timing thing, probably a very good reason that they dropped the recall vote, because you could absolutely recall Kenny Merrill Carlson because they are hurling slurs at other people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this one makes more sense from their standpoint. And yeah, I don't know. It's just I guess it's an effective gambit by Mo Bergman, because it's a really bad spot for somebody to be in if they disagree with this from a political standpoint. So good on you, Mo.
It's not that hard. I don't know. Just say just keep
I'd
focused
do it
on retribution.
Right.
This is retribution. You're just punishment. Don't
I
even
would-
recognize the merit of it at all. Don't even.
That's kind of what I was expecting, Bill, is that you're going to end up with a 20-minute debate between George and Joe arguing over who's been on council longer and the way they've always set their rules at the start of a session, and that they don't see any reason why we should be changing that and amending rules mid-session. That if we're going to do it, it should be forward-looking and whatever the case may be.
Yeah, this is all just.
And I think that's probably right.
I don't think that we're going to even talk about it. I think it's probably going to.
No, I think it probably gets
going
held.
to get held right off the bat.
Yeah,
which is fine. Also, two might sue the city. Also fine. Why not?
Yeah, I don't care. Everyone else gets their money out of the city. Might as well.
Yeah.
For once, it won't be the police's fault.
I'm gonna sue the city for wasting my goddamn time. Just kidding. I enjoy.
Oh man, we could make millions off of that. Yeah, I mean, our only recourse is to vote for better people, get more votes. To that end, there's lots of people to volunteer for, donate to. Bill and I were at a great event last week, Tu's birthday at Mint. There was a lot of felt like good energy in the room, and
I was bummed I missed that.
It was a fun time.
It sounded like a really cool one.
Yeah, we had cake. It was cool.
Fucking love cake.
The finger foods we're right next to the public speakers. And me and Bryan witnessed one of the most hilarious social acts where someone was mid giving an address. And this guy just like walks up while they're speaking to the crowd and picks up a couple crab rangoons, putzes around, gets some sauce, slowly walks back to where he is. It was really funny.
It was really funny, especially because we watched him think about it for 2 full speakers before he pulled the trigger.
Doing like going like this, like imagine like
You didn't go with the switch over? You go with the switch over.
You go with the switch over.
Yeah.
We got a whole
It
Seinfeld
was
episode here.
really fun. I was very happy.
Yeah, it was really good.
If they put the snack table next to the public address and I was asked to give a public address, I'd absolutely be snacking mid public address.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I couldn't help myself.
You're like turned around, you're not facing the crowd, you're just with your microphone, you're just picking up stuff.
Right.
So like 2's a great person. They've done a lot.
Yeah. I'm going to drop this in the chat once again. The Discord invite, if we want to pin that one. Join up, get in there, mix it up. And if you're a subscriber on Twitch, make sure you link your account to your Discord account, and you'll have more permissions and won't get booted out of the Discord when I figure out how to get that to work correctly.
Yeah, okay, we don't need that.
No, we don't.
It's working.
Well, there's not much on this agenda besides those 2 chairman's orders from Mr. Mo. So
Right.
maybe we can. I'm not even gonna say it out loud.
Yeah, don't. That yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking it, Phil. I agree with that sentiment. Let's just not
No one even think about it.
think about what.
Exactly.
I hope everybody stopped down at Cordella's to see my installation, by the way. I have some floaty friends up on the wall down there. Love the
nice.
homies at Cordella's.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I was gonna go down when you were down there on Sunday, and then I realized that you were leaving at noon, not arriving at noon. So, oh, okay. It's 1:00. See ya.
On Sunday, I was so hungover that I watched my DoorDash driver from the Desi Bar and Grill to my apartment. I watched his car the entire time, and I was riveted.
Here. Councilor Calorio.
Here.
How is Desi? I haven't had a chance to try them yet.
So good.
Good. I was hoping that we'd have more Indian food in the city.
Councilor Russell.
Because I've been going to the Shack. The Shack is like legit good.
Here we have
All right.
approved the minutes. of the
No,
March
Desi's
11th, March
legit
15th,
so good. I've had it
2025
twice.
meeting.
Awesome.
All those in favor? Aye.
All right, let's see if he says anything gets held.
6, public participation. The person may speak for no more than 2
Oh,
minutes. on the
I didn't
item
catch
shown on the
anything if he
agenda.
did say so.
Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Rule 39, at every meeting of the city council, under public participation portion of the agenda, the chair shall recognize any person seeking such recognition for the purpose of addressing the city council on any eligible item on the agenda for the meeting.
Yeah, I know who got
Only
sued.
Any person who
The
wishes to
information is
speak
out
on more
there
than
if you
one
really
item
want to find
on the
it.
agenda
It's
shall
not
combine their
that
testimony
interesting.
for all items to one appearance at the microphone. The time for speaking shall not exceed 2 minutes for any one speaker or 30 minutes for all speakers.
Okay, and if you have a petition, you get 3 minutes to speak on the petition. So if there's a double person's 2 names on the petition, one speaks for 3, one should be in the 2-minute session here. Okay. With
Wow,
that, we are-
that's a great job,
should
as
name
always, Joe.
City of residence, an item number?
Fred
Whoa.
Mason, City Worcester. Well, I'm not going to talk tonight. April Fools. So 8S.
What a fucking dweeb.
Oh my God, Fred, let's
I
go,
Anything that
brother! That was so
Should
good.
have a hand from
My
everyone
least
here in
favorite
this
day.
audience, and hopefully it will.
here.
And the other guy that's
Right, for a
Charles
365 jokesman, it's got to be tough on the
Can you
one.
direct your
the
comments
one
like-
to the
joke.
chair,
All right,
please?
sorry.
It's like a bartender on New Year's Eve. It's fucking amateur night.
HW. There is already...
What's he talking about? Charles slacking
Well,
about?
the autism is already recognized everywhere. I don't think you need to have a special thing here on this council agenda for it, because it's already recognized. And there was something else. Oh.
Speaking against the
No, I'm not-
autistic
I'm sorry.
community.
I believe it's 10A and 10B, the whole issue of the whether or not we should be paying city councilors. You know, let's face
Oh
it,
wow, system, congrats.
if
That sucks.
any Councilor Bergman, Colorio, Toomey, and Carlson, and even you, Mr. Mayor, you've all been disrespected, even the city manager. Well, not an April Fool's thing, but all of you could just walk out the door and say, you've been insulted. So, but we know you won't because you're grown up.
Next speaker, please.
An absolute dick.
Does your name say your residence?
I know her.
Courtney Petro Bateman, Worcester.
She used to be my
Wildwood.
neighbor.
I'm speaking on 8, I believe it was AP. Timothy Bateman is my husband.
Oh, I know her
He is a
husband.
merchant mariner, and he is not available to speak tonight on the petition. So we have put forth a petition to have Wildwood Ave made public. We have spoken to our city councilor multiple times.
This is a good idea.
The private part of Wildwood Ave is not maintaining their property. We, at the far end of Wildwood Ave, while I live on Scarsdale Street, it's still considered Wildwood Ave, have
Where the hell is
that
that?
as our right-of-way.
Is that like
So we
Jefferson
have
is
to
technically
travel
part of Holden?
Wildwood Ave every single day. We have incurred
It's off of
20
Apricot
years
going up
of
towards
cost to
Airport
our
Hill.
vehicles, our bodies. City vehicles have had considerable problems.
It's read that
baby,
merchant mariners
baby,
still
live
Every
exist.
day
on
we see
Wildwood.
the ambulances, the fire trucks, the
It
buses
is.
have
It was.
problems.
It's
has
been
become a
brutal my entire life.
Safety issue, and we would ask not only that the city investigate this issue more, but if you will not investigate it more, we'd like to submit another petition that you start ticketing under the Blythe ordinance, because it is a safety issue and they're not maintaining it.
Blythe ordinance?
It has not been maintained previously by patching, substandard patchwork. We have had people going out trying to maintain it themselves. They've hired, I hate to say this, but subpar contractors to fix it, and
not what I
monies
thought.
have
Good
been
word choices.
collected.
Good
Not
word
what I
I would say
choices.
it's fraudulent, but there's no real accountability
Yeah,
when
those
regards
are
to
real
those
sucking
fees.
your breath
There is
moment right
currently a
there.
fundraising effort going. They have not met the requirement, and we would ask that the city would hold them accountable if you will not.
Right up by God's acre.
Even short-term,
It's true. I used to walk there
provide us some services.
all the time.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
If anybody wants a tour of Deed Rock, I'm happy to show it to you for the low cost of $75.99.
After that, we can come for bodies.
Finance items, recommend authorization.
True. Lazarus, rest in peace, brother.
Cable funds, it's a regular routine process. But I'm here because of the words increase funding and to provide sufficient funding for cable. The funding is not an increase.
Brendan, are you involved
for
with Grill and Green on
WCCA,
Highland?
And it certainly isn't sufficient. It's devastatingly low this year. From 47,000 cable
Answer carefully.
subscribers to 18,000 cable subscribers. And they're cutting cable, but
Oh,
they're
you're
not
muted.
cutting TV because they're still watching TV. But the TV they can watch now online does not have our local channels. So WCCA's funding is critically low, it's more than 1/3 less a budget that I have.
Paid for
to
his
operate
paycheck?
that station with. So I'm here
Sorry,
to let you
you
know
were
this is
muted
an
for half of
urgent
that.
need
What'd you
to
say?
address the
I said, here's
situation.
Morrow here once again to
begging.
advocate for his
I'm
paycheck.
begging the city, the members of the council.
So
to
are
work
you
with
involved with Grill and
WCCA
Green,
the
Brendan?
city
I'm sorry, no,
manager
I'm
to
not involved with
clarify,
that either.
Make transparent the issues and remedies needed to
Thanks,
save
Jack.
Thank God.
WCCA TV
Thank God we
from
cleared that
closing.
up.
Worcester deserves to see this valuable public access channel be sustainable while fully meeting community media needs. I know you understand the importance of the station. Many of
If
you
David Webb
partake of
was
it and volunteer
funny or
there.
cool, he could
But
bring in
let's
that
address
sign
this
from
So we
Watchmen.
don't have to tell
would be-
thousands
see, that would be good.
volunteers, people who host shows, producers, interns,
There's a whole
organizations,
city report
all
on
different
about
types
David
of
Webb's little
content matter,
signs.
persons with a story
Cool.
to share. Let's not have to tell them that they're irrelevant. We need to fight to keep the station open. It's not going to stay open, or at least not in any capacity, nowhere near what we're doing now and what we have done. We're doing a heck of a lot more now. There's more shows than ever.
Imagine if WCCA
More
was just a
participation than
giant,
ever
all of their
before.
funding,
With a
like
lot less
including
money, we just
Morrow's
can't keep doing that. We can't
paycheck,
give away what we don't have.
was just directed towards
So I
being like a
appreciate you listening.
giant
Thank you very much.
publicly accessible YouTube studio.
What's your names to your residents?
He's so sick.
It almost feels like it would
Is
be
this
relevant
true?
to the modern world.
Shouldn't be controversial.
Is the stream jittery for you guys?
Being
Yes.
misunderstood,
A little bit.
teased, and belittled is
Brian, you
no
might need to
joke
take over.
for those
Something's
of
going
us
on
who
with
are
my thing.
autistic. It is traumatic. Let's make April 2nd Autism Acceptance and Awareness Day. And be aware, accept, understand. Now for 10A and 10B. There is or should be more to being a city councilor than simply attending these meetings. I'm sure that all your constituents care more about your engagement with their community than the sort of disgraceful inside fighting that goes on in this chamber. The sort of fighting that inspired this proposed Rule 61. But then, this willful misunderstanding of the job takes a more ominous turn with Rule 62. It amounts to the council's turn with Rule 62. It amounts to the council seizing the power to fire any member who finds their personal safety compromised, often by the very elected body they serve. This power belongs to the voters alone. It's particularly stunning, coming on the heels of your avowed lack of power to investigate your fellow elected officials. Really, you need your own lawyer. Authorized leave, at the very least, must include an elected official's concerns for their physical safety and for the safety of their families, and that can only be determined by the official themselves, not by their fellows. Rule 62 is just setting up the city for another lawsuit. Thank you.
Thank you. What's your names to your residents?
My name is
Yeah,
Gary Hunter.
Can you get
And I
censored
think,
under this
I'm
new
agreeing
rule
with the
for showing up to the city
fellow
council
before
meeting
me
on
about
so much
10A and
lorazepam
10B.
that you can't make words right?
I don't understand. There was a
If you
motion
can,
in the
then-
past that said,
I'm in favor of it.
investigate, have an impartial
Somebody stole my
investigation of this
lorazepam.
matter. It was
Parker
voted
Posey
down,
and the
and
new
it
White
was
Lotus.
also said,
I've
city
never
council is
watched
not
White Lotus. I
employees
gotta
of the
watch it.
city.
It's worth it.
Now
It's
we have
really good.
this motion saying we'll go by the HR and as employees of the city. I don't agree. This is a hostile workplace. There is accountability to apologize. We have gone through many meetings, and it's never been an apology. If you worked for a public company or a private company, many of you would not be working now. This would not go through an HR department. It would be illegal for what you've done, discrimination. None of you happen to be transgender. I'm not transgender. I happen to be gay. But you don't know the trauma through life they've gone through. And now you put them in a position in your workplace to actually bring that trauma to life. I think these two resolutions, if you look at them, if you look at them at face value, you say, oh yeah, that makes sense. If people don't work, you don't pay them. But this is retribution to one person. What we need to do is vote these down, or at least make them for the future, not to the present. Now, I'm looking at, through the chair, I'd like to talk to is that, look at the city council. I'd like to get a count of
thinking
more
somebody
time
else has
here
their
because
own swear-
I'd like
swear
everybody to
button.
please.
This
I've
new-
talked about respect before. Please listen to me because it doesn't do any good
Thank
to
you.
me talking and not listening.
Thank
I
you.
think,
Your time is up. Thank you.
please vote this down and have respect for the person that's not here today.
Thank you.
I think it's just the pace of the beep that is makes it so awful. It's a little bit slower, a
Hi, my
little
name
bit
is
faster.
Alex Rivera-Ortiz. I'm a
I wish it
parent,
sped up
chair
like a
educator, and
bomb was
Worcester
gonna go off.
resident. I'm here to speak
Sounds like a
on
forklift
item
backing up.
8W, the Autism Awareness Day resolution. Working with kids on the spectrum is an amazing opportunity. Every day our students teach me something new, whether it's a new move in a video game or how we should have more of our kids in public office because how much they care for everyone, not just care for themselves. With
Cory
recent
Booker is
attacks on the
filibustering
Department of Education,
not being on
we need to
TV.
start doing something
It's
to
a
help
protest
our
of
most
having
vulnerable
not been on
kids, and this
TV
is
for a
one
while,
step
and
towards the
and
right
it is
thing
working.
for our kids and our future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Janet Davis, Worcester resident. I'm here speaking in opposition to items 10A and B. While on the surface there appears to be holding counselors accountable, in actuality is retaliation for a counselor who dared to call out the harassment and discrimination they faced from other counselors. To this day, there is yet to be a public apology or any measure of redress, which is the underlying reason for not attending meetings. So rather than holding the council accountable to appropriate standards of behavior, it seems the council would prefer to shield a white woman who used a slur to target a queer non-binary person of color. I, for one, can think of many other things I would prefer the council to spend their time on, such as holding police accountable for excessive use of force and other things identified in the DOJ report and the equity audit, or addressing the ongoing housing crisis, or as somebody spoke to before, the horrible condition of our roads, and so funding the DPW better. Already, in just 2 minutes, I named 3 things that are far more worthy for the council to be spending their time on.
Sorry, Ted.
your name,
It's
for your
not playing the way you wanted to.
Kirsten Fraser, City of Worcester. I definitely support item 8W, declaring that April 2nd should be Autism Acceptance and Awareness Day. This is a no-brainer. We need to make sure that we are supporting all of our residents and encouraging them. 10A and 10B, folks, this is not subtle. This is not even an attempt at subtlety. These are both obviously directed at one city councilor in particular, and I'm sure this is not the first time that attendance has been a problem. I'm sure if you look back in your history, there have been councilors who've been absent multiple times. Now is the time that we decide to address this? Oh, come on. This is what takes priority over the 55 other items that are pending consideration by the Committee on Municipal and Legislative Operations? This is ridiculous. Why haven't this been addressed in previous years? I think we all know the reasons why here, but being explicitly bigoted isn't really a very good look, so we're trying to cloak it in the range of political correctness or trying to hold people accountable. I mean, it is the sort of petty stuff, frankly, that I would expect from people who like to hide behind the shield of white privilege or being privilege adjacent. The counselor that this is directed at has yet to receive a public apology from the person who harmed them. And even worse, that person is being protected by others on this council who are shielding them from facing the consequences for their poor choices and taking responsibility. Frankly, these items stink. They reek of pettiness and sad attempts at control.
They're looking at
under
Mo
the
when they
color
say
of
when they
correctness.
touch
Everyone's
it.
just looking
And
right
it's
at
frankly
Mo.
a candy-ass move that is more laughable than anything. I ask you all as a council to do the right thing, vote these down, and encourage the counselor who did the harm to
candy-ass
take
move.
responsibility for her actions.
sick. Where's my
Learn
pen?
how to
Candy-ass
repair
is
the
live.
wrong that has been
Candy-ass
done,
has
and
entered the
quit
chat.
trying to get back at those who call you on your bigotry
Using
through
stink in
glaringly
one
obvious
sentence and then
attacks. Thank
candy
you.
ass in the next. That's pure poster energy. That is
Fuck yeah.
What's your name, for your
that's
resident?
poster's brilliance.
Hello, my name is Sadie Lombardi.
Hey,
District
alarm.
2,
I think
and I'm here to
Bill's
speak on
hitting the
10A and
button
10B.
over and over again.
What you people are doing here
Oh no, that
is
was
despicable.
that was me. I was just
Hosting
excited.
a meeting on the night of Councilor Tu Nguyen's fundraiser event to petition to destroy their livelihood is horrendous. Time and time again, Councilor Nguyen is being retaliated against for simply asking to be respected. Most of you are retired on this council, and I imagine are either on Social Security or receiving a pension. Tu is not. Removing their salary and benefits is truly evil. Additionally, this attendance policy is attacking Councilor King and anyone here who still has to work a full-time job. It is a fact that several meetings have been scheduled during King's work hours after many requests not to do so. If you want people to show up, you must make it possible. The concept is very simple. If you do pass 10B, which would be a critical lapse of judgment and a massive error, it needs to be altered to be a unanimous vote. 2/3 of the council is not enough. We're talking about withholding someone's health care, vision, dental, life insurance, and their salary, the very basis of their security, and in turn, their shelter, their food, their safety, and their life. You are not petitioning to hold council members accountable. There is no accountability here. With these items, you are petitioning to destroy
What is Joe
someone,
Petty's
and we all
day
know
job?
who.
Good question.
Thank you.
Big lawyer.
That's a very good question, and you should look into it.
Good evening, Ashley Spring, resident of Worcester.
Yeah, Sadie's cool as hell.
The political climate in our community and within our community, the climate in our country and within our communities is changing rapidly. In the past, diverse communities have been able to coexist relatively delicately with one another despite differing needs and concerns. Recall those days our presidencies were handed off peacefully and our council members treated colleagues with dignity and respect. In those days, we also saw folks out in their communities more and not stuck at their second job trying to make rent. Neither did we have the luxury of having everyone hear our opinion without ever leaving our soapbox on Facebook.
Ashley Spring is
But
running
those days are gone. They've been replaced
school
with
committee,
insurrection
I believe.
and bloodthirst.
There's two Ashleys in the running.
Now that we've
so I
taken
get
a stroll
confused.
down memory
Ashley Spring is
lane,
running for
I
school
want to
committee
speak on the
against Molly McCullough.
agenda items 10A and B. I find them alarming. I find their existence on record in this chamber alarming. Not only because they signal an equivalent hostility toward myself as a gender diverse constituent,
District A.
but also because they signal an escalating aggression on behalf of the city council. Not only would withholding pay signal the municipality's increased hostility and aggression toward its employee, it would
Not
set
only
new
is Joe
precedents for
Perry a
dominance
musician,
of the municipality
he's from
over
freaking
all
Central
employees.
Mass.
I'm asking that you each
Freaking
consider
Central
what you are
Mass. He's
intending
from
to signal
freaking
with
Mendon.
response to this agenda item. There is becoming a bad habit in our political institutions where increased hostility and aggression are being
The
used in
drive-in
an attempt
kid.
to garner control. I urge you to steer
Hey,
away from that
Mendon-
narrative.
Mendon's from
Is Worcester
drive-in.
going to
So
continue,
good.
At the
continue down
drive-in
the path
kid?
of increased hostility?
Yeah.
Is that what is best for everyone?
One arm safety
I would
system.
also like to voice my
Yeah.
support for Nelly's
Fucking-
agenda item 8W.
I was
As a
bumping
parent
that
of an
record when I
autistic
was in high
child,
school.
It's incredibly
You
difficult.
bet
but
your
you see
ass.
every day how smart and brilliant and how much they have to offer the world. Thank you.
I got to see them open for Rage Against the Machine. That's how old I am.
So sick. That is so sick.
Emma Tosh, City of Worcester. I'm here to speak on
What's with
10A
brand
and
new
10B.
coming
A lot
back?
of people have already spoken and are quite eloquent. I'm
They
a
all need
political
money.
person, so
They're
I'm
playing
mostly here actually
friggin'
to talk
DCU.
about, tactics and
Guy's a
process.
fucking
I'm very
pedophile.
concerned about 10A and 10B because
Oh.
beyond
Jesse Lacey,
whatever
the lead
facts
singer of
may have
Brand New?
led to this proposition. in the
Yeah,
first
but I mean,
place,
it's, you know,
there
Trump.
already is
Damn
a way
pedo.
to have councilors be held
It's the
accountable
90s
for any
again.
actions they might take, and it's at the ballot box. And so I'm concerned
That's what
by
Michael Che
this
keeps
idea
saying.
that we're going to now have the city council
Everyone posting
take
about it, I'm
over
just like-
responsibility that I think actually belongs with the voters. And frankly, I just, it
Listen,
seems like it's
listen,
a kind of
Brian,
bad idea right
you have
now
to-
to
listen,
be
you have to separate
pursuing
the-
that
the
kind
art
of
from the artist.
approach to this particular
If
issue.
it's someone,
I have separated myself
is
from
something that people can
Going
utilize
to that
as
concert.
political speech. And so even if you don't like that as a tactic, and I'm not sure that I
I love,
personally
you know,
agree
separate the art
with
from the
at
artist.
various
No one
points in
ever
time,
brings
people
that
doing
up
that,
when it's an
it's
artist that they
fundamentally
don't
something that
like.
people should have in
It's,
their toolbox to be able to
only ever
use,
used.
especially right now. And so I'm concerned that whatever is motivating this in the first place, that's actually quite short-sighted to go ahead and try to enshrine this in the set of rules. And so I urge the council beyond the situation that we're in right now to consider the fact that there are long-term consequences to adding these sorts of rules to the rule book. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Not one person in
No,
favor
we're going
of
to do your
this so
petition a
far.
little bit later on. Is that okay? Or unless you have to leave.
Yeah, do you want me to, can I read now, or should I wait?
Can you wait? a
I'll
few
wait,
minutes?
I'll wait,
Okay,
thank you.
thanks.
I have two things, though. I
You-
just wanted to comment that I.
You only can speak once. in the
Oh,
meeting,
so wait, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, cool.
So there's a bunch of these shirts that say "Just a Kid from Webster Square," which is about Robert Goddard.
In support of
I don't
item
wanna talk over.
912A, again, the transmitting information relative to the city's fire sprinkler policies. It's unfortunate that this item has been tabled, but again, this is section 26I is really just it's a thoughtful and measured approach to enhancing fire protection in the city. This is something that is really is mentioned time and time again in the Worcester's Now Next plan. Worcester's housing stock, majority of it, 40%, is built before 1939. We've had a lot of structural fires in the past decade. We've lost 3 firefighters in 3 family fires. We lost 4 residents on Gage Street. So automatic fire sprinklers have proven to save lives. They minimize injuries, they control fires, give residents time to escape, and really help reducing the risk to firefighters as well. I really hope that this will ultimately be put on the agenda to be discussed. This is something that will really help improve our housing structure for the long term as our triple deckers get older and older. Also, I want to speak on item 11D. There's a reason why the senior tax off work program is not popular. Seniors have worked long enough. They don't want to work anymore. Something like a senior tax exemption is really more helpful to seniors who have worked their whole lives. And obviously support 8W. People with disabilities, children with autism, people with autism all want to live equal and meaningful lives just like everyone here. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so they have Robert Goddard shirts, Just a Kid from Webster Square. And I'm pretty sure they stole the design from Just a Kid brand.
Short amount of time I've been in here, I've seen
Really?
eyes being rolled, whispers being whispered,
Hey,
and
epic. Thanks for the
not
resub.
active listening from some of the.
Is the Just a Kid, is that a local brand too?
I feel like this is a
I don't think
complete
so.
form of bullying, especially if you're going to be bringing financial into this.
But it's a different
I don't know
font.
why we've allowed this type of bullying for so long.
But the
There's
same
been
design.
children that have come up in front of you all that you guys have all smiled at, that have corrected this type of behavior. We expect our youth to be acting with respect, and I don't understand why this is even on the table. And if it's something that's been brought here, it'd be great if you weren't rolling your eyes and not listening to the people that gave you this position. My question is, what are you using your power for? Who's it serving? And also, I love that it's highlighted that things can move very quickly in the city. So I'd love to see homelessness and the other more pressing issues come into a fuller effect much quicker. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
David Webb, City of Worcester. I'm going to start at the end because I want to tag along to what that person just said. Regarding 10A and 10B, it's amazing what gets pushed through quickly when this administration wants to. At a prior Municipal Operations Committee meeting, Councilor Bergman suggested setting aside the Constitution to justify condemning Councilor Wynn for admitting in this chamber that our city fucked up. And now he has opened the city.
Please.
With respectfully, you can't prohibit swearing. And I'm quoting something that was said in this statement, but I'm going to take my extra 10 seconds. Now he is trying to open the city up for yet another lawsuit instead of considering the 55 other items pending before his committee with the legal minimum notice to have it during their party. The argument between Councilors Clorio and Bergman comes down
Isn't
to
the
that
Worcestery
Councilor
Council
Wynn didn't have a
Theatre
good
motto,
reason to
"Let's
step away,
bully our
as
city
if being
councilors"? Is that true?
dehumanized and
Is that
bullied
our
by their
motto?
peers isn't a
No,
good
I mean,
reason,
it
as if
feels
the city
unofficial,
failing to
but
maintain a safe environment at any level isn't
feels
a
like a
good
core
reason.
tenet.
There is an
Sure.
actual issue here.
I
and
thought
it's
the
a good
official
reason not to
motto
show up at
was,
work.
"Sorry, Mom,
The
can't
city
right
is a
now.
large
I'm
functioning being with
cyberbullying
most
the
of its
mayor."
functioning
Yeah, that
happening in
is.
this building.
That is
The people of the
their
city are
founding
not flawed.
document.
They're the water and electrolytes that
Through the
being
chair.
absorbs. The
I
board
thought we
is the
just
money
agreed that
running to
sometimes
some of
bullying
the
can be
neighborhoods rather
effective.
than others. We can talk about why
Oh,
the
yeah.
city manager, it's hard.
That
There's
was it wasn't really a
This
motto. It wasn't a
council
mission
is the lower
statement.
council, which
Wasn't a
handles
state
the
of being.
absorption
We
of
just all
water
came
and
to an agreement,
electrolytes and
most
sends
of
them
us,
where
that
they're needed to
bullying
keep everything
sometimes
else
works.
working. It also forms in compact stool. This petition
We're
wasn't
nuanced
pretty when it
people,
went in,
and
and
this
it's
is
more
a
gross than
this is a
fascinating how quickly
nuanced
it went
life we
through.
live.
I ask that out of respect and appreciation for the greatest
Yeah.
city, this council files it, rather than letting it sit and fester over our society. Okay, speaking of autism, I want to thank Nellie Medina on the leadership putting 8W together. In true neurodivergent spirit, this was done at the actual last minute, and she still managed to
everyone
implement
who
it with
watches the
support
show
and
gets their
feedback
own
from the wider
motto. You
community.
can think of your own
The
motto
reason
for
my
it.
life is
Just
hard,
slap it
aside
right
from
on.
capitalism, is because I didn't know I was autistic.
I feel like
We should
Deputy Chief
print-
McGinn is staring into
Maybe
my
some of
soul.
us
Yeah.
would be more compassionate
He's
of others.
staring
if
at the
we
back of
recognize
the
I
that
can't
autism
wait to
is
take
more
out a
than
hit on
friends.
this kid.
Autism
He
is
wants
what
to
makes me
crumple up
special.
this guy
What
like
makes me
there's
human.
a sign
And it's
being
most of my
posted
best
on the back
traits.
wall.
It's my knowledge of the law, memory for who said what when, and it's my passion for justice. Let's
Which
start
one?
working together.
The one that
Make
David's
Worcester a
wearing is
place
no
that's
longer
accommodating
available.
And supportive, starting with
Where can you get
recognizing
one of
tomorrow as the
those?
Oh,
National
I and I.
Autism Day in Worcester.
That's on your
Brilliant
Bandcamp,
shirts.
isn't it?
BillShader.bigcartel.com.
Cartel.
They're going fast.
Everybody wants one. People are saying.
Good evening. My
Many
name is
people are
Matt
saying
McAuliffe.
the
I'm
best shirt. It's the best shirt
resident
about
of
Worcester ever
District
put out.
5. I'm
Many
also
people are
a
saying
member
this.
of the Central Mass Collaborative Union. I'm a local of the Mass Teachers
Oh, talk to this guy at
Association.
the punk rock
I'm
flea
here
market
to
on
speak
Saturday.
in favor of 8W.
He's good people.
And
Matt,
Did he come up
I
with
support
tears in
this
his eyes telling you about your
resolution,
T-shirt?
for World
Matt
Autism
McAuliffe.
Day, a day that highlights
yep,
the importance of inclusion, understanding, and support for the autistic community. Autism is not a limitation. It is a different way of experiencing the world.
That's a good move, Brewer.
In Worcester, we pride ourselves on being a community that values diversity and works towards equity for all. By officially recognizing World Autism Day, we send a clear message that Worcester is committed to creating a city where autistic individuals and their families feel seen, supported, and empowered. This resolution is more than just words. It is a
Brady gonna
step
fall asleep on
towards
camera?
a greater awareness, acceptance, and action. Let us work together to ensure
Yeah,
that
Poets
Worcester
Cauldron,
continues to create safe
is
environments
Brewer's
in our schools,
poetry
workplaces,
event.
and public spaces
Usually at the White
that
Room,
allow
right?
every individual to shine. Now,
It's
as
awesome.
far as 10A
Yeah,
and 10B,
Katie
let's
was a
be
speaker
honest, it's a
at one
power
time.
grab. One of the tenets of unionism is an injury to one is an
the
injury
Cauldron
to
is
all.
full of poets.
We would not stand for on the workroom floor for our
Brew
union
heads, turning up
siblings
the heat.
to be,
turning up the
have slurs hurled at them, or we would not
The
allow
last
it for
event was March
management. We would
16th.
march
I'm not
on
sure
the
when their
boss.
next one is.
So I
Brewhouse
strongly
might be able to
oppose
drop us
10A
a-
and 10B. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sarah Bertrand. I live in Worcester. Also speaking in opposition to items 10A and 10B. I have concerns that they're not addressing the roots of the situation, and also just to express concern that we've had discussions around accountability and
Easter
not
Sunday.
pushing for the accountability that
420.
that our public, our community needs.
That's
I'm
gonna be a good one.
concerned that it ruptures the trust, and trust is such a crucial part of a healthy community. So I'm speaking in favor of
What's the word for it
addressing
when
the
420 and
wider
Easter on the
issue
same
of
day?
transphobia, xenophobia, discrimination that that has resulted in the situation, and that
Can't come up with a pun.
we push
I
for
just
a
can't.
holistic healing process rather than punishing the Councilor Nguyen for their absence with valid reason. Thank you.
Thank you.
Easter bowls and baskets is the best I can come up with.
John Edward Keogh, Worcester. I would like to talk about 9.36A in light
John
of
Keogh,
10A and
he knows
10B.
way more
So,
about the police
10A and
department
10B,
than
we're
I
going
thought he
after
did.
a specific
And
person,
he knew a lot.
for not coming to work.
He was a fun
But
guest. the other day.
9.36A is related to the cable funding, and our company charter has not been showing up for work for 25 years. And this city council, other than two, has never, ever publicly held charter
Yeah, we don't care
accountable
about the guns
for
thing.
the constant theft of money
that's
from
whatever.
the citizens of Worcester. You say that you support seniors.
John
The
Keogh,
I'll
majority-
actually hold
the
some from
majority
the police
consistently
department if they don't
votes
have room.
together. And yet you allow charter to steal money from our citizens. They have
at
never
the
been
last
held
meeting,
accountable.
John Keogh
Where is your, petition
printed
there?
out,
Where is your order on
Thomas
this
Duffy's
agenda for that?
like one sheet
You
of
stand against an
complaints that he's had
individual,
filed against
one
him,
person,
and put a bunch of
because you
copies
can't
mixed in with
find a
the
way to
paper
work with
agendas
them
that are
because
on
you
that
have
big
differences
table
with them.
next
I
to.
understand differences. Believe me.
And apparently that's
There's
why
differences with
Thomas
me
Duffy was
in
so
the
mad
city
last
many
week.
times. This week I was criticized heavily,
that
and I'm
is
okay
just
with that. I
brilliant.
can stand in this place here and be okay with being criticized.
Thomas Duffy
and being yelled at
famously,
and being
the
called
first
names,
DOG meeting,
and having police officers threaten me through text message. But I'm okay with that, and it doesn't bother me.
He said that
But it
there's never
does
been one
bother me
complaint
that
against
our
him.
leadership here in
He
the
has 3
city
pages of complaints.
won't hold a company that's stealing money from us all the time. Or how about the DPW workers, the contractors who intentionally don't plow because they're upset with the city manager? How about we hold them accountable instead of one individual that you are not grown up enough to find a way to work with? Just find a way to work with somebody. Don't attack them individually, or start holding people accountable. Every campaign event this year, every single one, I will remind the senior citizens of Worcester that the majority, the 6 votes, do not support them and will not fight back against charter, but you'll fight against one person.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's right over his head.
Karen Valentine Goins, city resident of Worcester.
What?
And I know that
I missed last week's meeting and I didn't see where they placed the
comment time
clock.
has been short, So I will say just that I'm here in opposition to 10A and 10B.
I also see a horrendous
And I think
picture
that
in our
many of the speakers
overlays.
before me have been more eloquent on the points.
Throw it up.
Yep.
I just think it's shameful
Yeah,
that this is
why
the
not?
way a situation is being handled, and I urge the
Yeah.
council to vote against the item.
Yes.
What was that? Was that from last week?
Yeah, I found it in my memories.
Idella Hazard, City of Worcester. I'd like to
Found it in
speak
my
on the
spank
speed
bank.
limit of 25
Hell
miles an
yeah.
hour. I live on Providence Street.
Why don't you make
Idella
Shaun
Hazard,
sad?
Sorry, City of Worcester. And that's the main artery to 146. And on
Speed limit
rainy
isn't 25
evenings,
miles an hour
they
on main
zoom
arteries,
up
but
there.
Candy Mill Crossing, it's not like Candy Mill Crossing
I
sat
would
through
like
a
to
year of
see,
meetings about 25 mile an
that
hour or
speed
anything
limit
like that. It's not like she would
enforced for
fucking know that
25
and put that right in her
miles an hour.
agenda. She, oh my God.
A few years back,
The bar
a
is so
little girl
low in
was
the city.
hit,
The bar is just so fucking
by
low
a
in the
car
city.
crossing at Providence and Harrison Street, and that was prior to the speed limit. So, if it could be enforced from time to time, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Phil Gagnon. I'm here to speak about Wildwood
Wildwood
Ave.
also.
I've been on Wildwood Ave for
He lives on the private
40
part of the
years,
street.
And right now, we're trying to get some money up. And this woman here, I feel bad for her because she has to drive the whole road. And that's another thing I want to talk about the city councilors about. Putting a public street at the end of a private street makes no sense to me. You know, we collect money and we do the best we can trying to fix the road. This is probably the worst it's ever been in the 40 years I've been up there. I'm getting older. I can't do a lot of the repairs that I have done in the past, and we never get enough money to fix it right, like she says. But there's 36 duplexes at the end of the street, and that's 72 families. We don't always get a lot of money from them, and they have to go the frizz. I feel for them because they're on a public street. They shouldn't have to give anything. But she feels it because she has to drive down it all the time. It's a sin, you know. Right now, we got an estimate of fixing the road. It's $7,000. We have $2,000 up to this point. We're never going to get close to that. I don't understand
Bake sale,
why
bro.
the city of Worcester, now that it's not a private street any longer, it's a public way, because those people have to travel down Wildwood Ave, and those 144 cars, of course, it caused havoc on our street. I was there when that wasn't there, and it was much better and easier to maintain. Plus the streets down below, Paris Ave, public. Why is it public? It's in the middle of no man's land. I don't get it, why they do that. You know, I really don't. But, you know, you got to feel for us because we keep paying for it. And then if the city takes a street, eminent domain, we end up paying $10,000. That's what it would cost me. And I don't mind because I don't want to drive down the street anymore. It's getting sickening. But those people will get a nice new street out of it, and they don't have to pay a dime. You know, I don't get it. I like to sit down and talk to you people and have more time about this sort of thing.
Thank you. Just have a motion to extend the meeting.
Motion to extend the meeting.
Okay, roll call. Extend the public session, I should say.
How long, Mr. Chairman?
Phil's a good painter, and his son
You only have
Chris
two more.
Gagnon is a good, really good
Councilor
great
Bergman?
artist as well.
Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
Councilor Agia? Yes. Councilor King?
What's the motion, Mr. Chairman?
Just extend
To
the
suspend the
30 minutes.
rules?
Yeah.
Motion to suspend the rules, yes.
Fuck rules? You got it.
Councilor Merrill Carlson? Councilor Nguyen? Councilor Ojeda?
Yes.
Councilor Pasillo?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
No.
Councilor Toomey?
That's awesome.
Yes.
George is checked
Okay,
out.
Go ahead, just your names, your residence.
Nope, no
John
more
Foley,
public
Worcester.
comment. No, I don't want to hear it.
I just
I don't
wanted
want to hear
comment on
anybody more of
10A,
you.
10B quickly. I know, haven't followed the politics of this very much at all. But, you know, looking over the rules, I was a teacher.
That
I
was
wrote
such a
some
funny
attendance rules
vote.
in my time.
No.
They are sloppy. They have a lot of loopholes. They can be easily weaponized. You know. don't
One time, my
let that
dad's
happen.
car fell through
That's all.
Wildwood Ave.
Thank you.
Like, into the middle regions from the Kong movies?
Sinkhole.
As an
Yeah.
educator in the
Oh,
Worcester
where the
Public
Balrog
Schools
lives.
for over 20 years,
Yeah.
I fully support AW. And
He
those
fell-
that do
he
not
fell for like 10,000
support it
years.
Need to do some deep inner searching as to why. I do not support 10A and B.
Yeah.
With
So
everything
that
that's
vote that
happening
they just
in
took
this
was
country,
to
in this state,
allow public
and
comment to
especially
continue.
in this
That's
city.
why it was so funny.
This is what you want to
But,
concentrate on? No wonder so
George
many
voted
residents have
against
lost
it,
interest.
which is a new
and
thing they've been
faith
doing. That's like
in
a
this
3
council
meetings old
and in the city.
rule.
It seems that
A really good
Trumpism
example of how
is alive
Joe
and
Petty
well
just makes
in
it
the
fucking
city,
up as he goes.
especially on this council. The bigotry and intentional harm has never been clearer. The next time you all show up for your 10-minute photo op at any Pride event, my hope is that you get booed away. But I know that our LGBTQ plus community will always treat you better than you have been to all of us, because we have decency and respect for all, not just for those that fit in your small, insignificant, bigoted, and closed-minded bubble.
All right. Hell yeah.
What about Hashister?
Mr. Mayor, we're going to online.
That's pretty good.
It's a stretch, but
Hashishter.
Hashister.
What's your name to your residents?
Good evening. My name is Ted Costas.
Big
I
Ted.
live in the city of
Big
Worcester.
Ted, outdoors cats,
I was gonna
outdoor
speak a
cats
little
listener
bit on
right
a
here.
couple of things, but I'll make it
Wow.
short. I know you want to end the
Yeah.
meeting.
It's gonna be like, yeah, a couple things I think we should abolish the police.
Yeah, I think the television station is very important to the city here.
And
a lot of,
radicalized by
good
my
programming
boys, Bill and
comes out of
Chris.
that, and it's very helpful. I do want to speak about 10A and 10B. I know you're not going to want to hear what I have to say, but I'm going to support that because of Rules 61 and 62. You're all here elected. You're supposed to do a job. If you have any personal issues, if it doesn't get resolved.
Every time I hear these
that's what
enumerated
litigation
rules,
is
all I can
for,
think
and
about is massive
under the
numbers of
impression
Jedis
that
dying.
litigation is underway. But in the meantime, I would have to
Very
support
jarring.
10A and 10B.
The
because
mass
if you're not
slaughter
here
of
to do the
innocents.
job, shouldn't be paid for it. I do apologize if I hurt anybody's feelings, but that's the truth. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guy repping Open Sky, just having the worst fucking thoughts about other people.
Hi, Denise
Yeah.
Galata, City of Worcester. Is there any way we can table this? I mean, I really feel like this is really a very, very serious issue that has to be talked about among all of you to come up with a policy for someone who's been elected. This person, for 10A and 10B, I'm sorry, this person's been elected. We didn't have another election to say she couldn't be paid. Once her term is up, if she's up this year, I'm not sure if she's running again, then you can implement new rules that would be voted on. But to do it now, it just doesn't make sense. It's too controversial, and I think.
Does anybody else think
there
Ted
could be a better
Costas
way
sounds
of
like
doing
Leon
this.
Redbone?
But I mean, and I'm going to say I respect all of you. You're all elected officials. I admire your work. It's very hard work to do what you're doing. So I don't want to be negative. I mean, this is not what we want to do here. But I do think if this could be tabled and reassessed at some point, just a thought.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Quirk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We'll go online. The first.
It's really weird that Mo Bergman
The
would
last four numbers,
pull this move if he didn't
014.
think he had the votes.
Try to make the call in now.
Well, I think that there's a calculation that if it's voted down, then they can attack
Press
the
star
people
9
that voted
if you're on
down.
the phone.
Yeah.
Please state your name and city of residence.
Right, but the swing vote
Go next one.
is going to be Jenny.
Right.
Not hearing from that
Who's
calling
not
user,
running.
move on.
I think it's less council votes and more counting votes
The
or
next speaker is Johanna.
hedging
Try and make the call now.
how the votes are going to look on the outside.
Yeah, they're
Good
counting on
evening.
people
Can you
not
hear me?
Yes,
paying
sir.
attention to what.
Okay, Johanna Hampton Dance, Worcester, Mass. District
And do you think that like
And
the city of
Opposed
Worcester
to
could like
items
effectively fire
8W
or like
and 10A
retract
and
payment
10B? I do want to
in
speak
any
on
reasonable amount of
10A
time? Like this
and
isn't even
10B.
like a thing. It would take them
10A and 10B
decades
has
just to
stemmed
figure out
from
how to claw back
compromise
a
of
paycheck.
The petition that I had put in that would call for accountability.
We can't even
And
pave
it's
streets.
not a specific counselor, it is for all counselors.
Oh, come on.
The pattern that's
Johanna,
happening
stop
now cannot
lying.
happen in the future.
Why
We
are
need
you
to be able
lying
to
so
hold
much
counselors
about
accountable.
this?
They should
Really
be
Told
showing
me
up.
it on the phone.
And if they
I have
cannot
it
show up, they
recorded.
should have a just cause on why they cannot show up. And if they do not show up because they don't want to and they don't want to do the job anymore, they should resign or they should lose pay. You still hold a seat, but you don't show up. And I know it offends a lot of people. I know they think that it's a certain narrative has been attached to it, but that was not the intention at all. So I just wanted to call in and say that. I do appreciate your time.
I don't know
and
what her deal is
I'm
on
here
this,
for the rest
but
of the meeting.
bye-bye.
There's I really do feel like there's a personal like beef between Maria Montano and 2, and Joanna's friends with Maria, and that's kind of where it started,
your name and city of
seemingly.
residence.
And then it just kind of like spiraled into, just spiraled into fucking weird, like homophobic, transphobic,
I want to thank
like,
Councilor Bergman for putting these
fucking
on.
milieu.
The rules for city council have to be amended. These rules are reasonable, as they would be in any workplace. It even allows the councilors to attend virtually. There's no more excuses.
Whoever it is
I mean,
retired.
how do these people complaining survive in the real world? Please stop whining that these rules are retaliatory. This is all about putting rules in place going forward. It's not about what has happened in the past. You even read what you're talking about?
Listening to these
regardless
terrorists
of this
whine
vote,
about whining
there will be a lawsuit.
is so obnoxious.
Because the plan all along by the always a victim counselor was to land a big old payday.
Big
Okay,
old payday.
thanks
We're
for your
talking
time.
about $2,000 a month.
Thank you. Next speaker.
That's a big payday to you?
My next speaker is
Jesus Christ.
You know how many kids you can buy with that shit?
Yeah, do that for 20 years. You could fly yourself to India and get a kidney.
Hi, my name is Julia. I'm
You
a
could pick
teacher
the
in the
kidney.
Worcester Public School District, and I am against 10A and 10B.
God,
I heard
Colleen West.
negativity in the last comment that
Colleen
was
West, hey,
spoken,
if you're
and I
listening to
want to be
this
clear
at some
that
point in the
this is
future,
from
because I
real issues,
have a feeling
and we
you
know
will
that
be.
it
Colleen
is.
West, go
The facts are
outside.
that, first of all,
Go outside.
transphobia
Get
in this
off
country has
Facebook.
killed
Spend an
many
entire
people, some people I know,
day
and
without going on
we know
Facebook.
that transphobia has occurred on the floor.
Take
and
a
we
deep breath.
know that someone else's
Talk to a
concern
stranger.
about holding
Talk to
members
us. Hey.
accountable is now being politicized.
Talk to the clerk at the grocery store.
So it's being used to now attack
Try to have a
somebody.
conversation with
It's being
like
used
a
to
person
attack
who isn't
is
in the
not
same
being used
Facebook
to actually
silo
make
as you are.
members accountable. I think
Just
people
one
have
person,
actually
any
brought
person.
up points of how the council is not really listening to other people in the
Imagine Colleen
community.
West
I've heard funds
going
being
up
stolen.
to, like,
I heard other concerns brought
an
up, and
18-year-old
yet why
kid
aren't these being addressed?
bagging
If
groceries
we
at
are actually the
Price
ones being listened
Chopper.
to, but this
She's
one
like,
is being listened to because it just so
"Can
conveniently
you fucking
attacked
believe
somebody
the immigrants
that was
poured into
trying
this
to hold
country?"
you accountable. They had the courage to speak up
And
to
they're
you.
just like,
They had the courage to stand up for us.
shut up,
And now
lady.
you are using this to attack. This is only showing coward and bullying. And as a teacher, I don't stand for it. So I'm against 10A and 10B. Thank you.
Next speaker.
So my next speaker is Natalie Gibson. I'm trying to meet the resident now.
Hi, hello. Hello?
Yes, is your name and city residence?
Yes, Natalie Gibson, Worcester, Mass. My apologies, I'm a little unprepared. I just saw the agenda. So I am opposed to 8Q.
Colleen
That
West
is
is
for a handicapped
famous
parking
among local
space,
Instacarters
between
for only accepting
numbers 3
a
and
white
5 on
shopper.
4th Street. Now, normally I would not be against something like this, but the individual that is requesting this, and I do not pretend to know their personal history, but this person showed up to a meeting at City Council with their wife, limping and using a cane. I actually saw them after that meeting. Cane was gone and they were walking perfectly fine. What they want to do is use a handicapped parking space to store their box
This
truck
is
that
awesome.
is too large for the space
What a
where they
sick
want it to go right
accusation.
now, and this was already determined in traffic.
You don't
and
even need the cane.
The truck is too big for the parking, and it actually inhibits the residents from being able to see coming out.
And
of their
Gio, I was just trying to
driveway and
imagine
going
how much
into their
Instacart and
driveway.
DoorDash do you think Colleen
And
orders
it's a
just to
tight
avoid
street
interacting
as
with
it is.
strangers?
Also, I am in agreement
Oh,
with
shit.
8S for the Robert Goddard Memorial that's coming up. We're actually looking and hoping to
I seen him. He was
get
walking
some of
around
the
without a cane
CPA
on.
funds to help with that.
He only showed up with a cane to get a
8W,
handicap parking spot.
I do adopt the autism day, 10A and 10B. I'm going along with what everybody else says. I'm not even going to
She
elaborate
buys her
any
food
further.
in
I don't
5-gallon
remember which
buckets.
number it is, but yes, we need to get the
Yeah, she's buying those
fire
prepper packets
sprinklers
that they
off
advertise
of
on
the
YouTube.
tabled list.
Yeah, she's
and
eating
clear
nothing
that
but
item
Alex
and
Jones
pass
Fallout
that item.
Kiblets for the
Going
past 10
forward,
years.
I really think that some of
Her
these
sodium level is through the roof.
council members need to stop being hypocrites, stop casting their
Okay,
stones,
thank you.
and look in the mirror.
Appreciate it.
Mara.
The next speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The next speaker is Noah. Can I meet the resident now?
You know for a fact she goes to the school and just takes
Thank
stuff
you.
from the
My name is
kitchens.
Noah, existing in Worcester, and I'm calling in opposition to 10A and 10B. These items, in addition to the new 30-minute rule for public comment, is a reflection of your fears, Council. I think the majority of you are afraid that a different form of government is growing. As a reminder, the same city council member that used a transphobic slur and xenophobic rhetoric is still sitting on council today. You want to talk about accountability? Where was this energy when actual harm is being done? No matter the outcome of tonight's meeting, your actions will not be remembered as being on the right side of Worcester's history.
That's dope.
Thanks.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Mr. Mayor, the next speaker is Tom.
They're still doing public comments.
Yeah.
And they're just mostly
Tom Marino,
talking
City
about
Worcester.
10A and
On
10B.
10A and 10B, there's I think, a pretty glaring hole right through the middle of the construction. of
Hadoken,
these two
thanks
orders.
for the resell.
If you sat on a if you're chair of a committee with a member you didn't want, you could simply, and as councilors are part-time, you could simply schedule the meetings at a time that you know they couldn't attend, and in 6 months you'll have a vote to get rid of them. That's not good. You know, I understand that some members think that there needs to be a fix here. I don't think this is it, because putting the ability to just, you know, schedule a meeting when someone can't attend, you know, and we've seen this from time to time in council with committee meetings and when they're scheduled, you know, seemingly to exclude people from them. That's not, so that will only be encouraged by these orders. So I would suggest, I would hope that council will send these back to committee for a relook.
I knew I recognized
Thank
his
you.
voice.
Thank you.
Mayor, the next call-in user is 1144. I'm trying to do resident now.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, is your name and city residence?
Hi, my name is Emma Narkowitz. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a resident of Worcester, specifically District 4.
Is this the villain,
I'm
Emma?
a voter,
One of our
including in
chat
primaries, and I want to speak tonight in opposition to orders 10A and 10B, and in favor of 16K and 8W. I think, as others before me have already stated, that this is blatant, it's not subtle. It feels like a targeted attack on Councilor Nguyen, who raised very valid, very serious complaints.
Chat union
against
member, we're not going to say which
colleagues
one.
for using
We're
a
not gonna say.
transphobic slur, has made no apologies, and when it was time for the city to have the opportunity to
The
hold
answer might surprise
the
you.
city councilor who used the transphobic slur, Councilor Mayor Collerson, through
Yeah,
the
it's
chair,
Jack WN 508.
they said that you are not employees and they don't have the power to do this. But now when you want to punish or retaliate against Councilor Nguyen, suddenly you're able to set restrictions and treat them like an employee. It seems like targeted retaliation. Right now, there has been 450 anti-LGBTQIA+ bills passed in the past year. Most of them have targeted trans people. There's been violence. And right now, when the federal government is attacking
Oh,
us,
thanks for the follow,
it's
JB.
attacking funds, you are focusing your energy
Welcome.
attacking a trans person who brought forward a complaint of a hostile
Come
work
over because I
environment
posted
of
our
which
link
you,
in
Mayor
the
Petty, have overseen
City Council
and
stream on
enabled.
Facebook.
So I really hope that these are voted
Hell
down.
yeah.
Welcome to the dark side.
Great job, Emma.
So Mayor, the next speaker is Maria, showing the resident now.
I made this joke a few weeks ago, but nobody could see our names, so it was kind of just a joke for the guys in the like here on stream.
Maria, we'll move on.
I was really confused by that.
Oh,
I didn't change it until I needed to.
Yes, good evening. My name's Eric Stratton. I'm
Oh, hey.
Worcester.
We
I
know
live
this
here with
son
my
of a
family.
bitch.
I work in the
Back
city,
to
I
back.
vote in the city.
Back to
I'm
back.
calling in opposition
Chat
of 10A
members,
and
let's
10B.
go.
Frankly,
Shout it out.
Per
Eric,
usual,
shout it out.
These are items where you're coming in to try and, really, this feels very retaliatory. That essentially an issue is brought up, and rather than actually dealing with the issue, instead, these orders are being brought forward to try and punish the person who's trying to bring these up. As others have been saying, we are begging you all, please do your jobs. Stand up against transphobia, stand up for the residents of the city, stand up for the fellow councilors. And again, these should absolutely be opposed. There's no reason these should be on our agenda. It seems that based off of the orders we've been seeing come from this council lately,
Listen,
that
bud.
you all, the councilors,
My name's Joe
are afraid
Petty,
of your constituents.
and I was
And that is
elected
shameful.
not to do any
If
of
you are
that,
afraid of your
but to get
constituents,
taken
then you
out
should
the
resign.
111 Chop House by the
There's
Menkiki
no
group.
reason
That's why I was
that
elected.
these items should be on, other than retaliation. And again, it is incredibly
I'm not
embarrassing.
standing up for
You can get an
anybody.
answer back from the Mankini
from
group.
the
Good
city
for him.
councilors. I am very proud to live here, but I am ashamed of our city government when I
I
see
wasn't
these types of
elected
issues
to
coming up.
read or
I urge
lead.
you all,
I was
do
elected
better,
to
be
eat.
better than this. And if you can't, then move aside and let other people who can.
I served
take
7
on these
consecutive
positions.
terms as the mayor
I'm
of
very
Worcester,
much
and all I
looking
got was
forward
this
to
steak dinner
November
at 111
and
Chop House,
hopefully
courtesy of the
seeing these
Menkiki group.
changes happen in the city. Thank you.
Put that on a shirt.
That's the motto for this show. Great
That's
job,
the new
Eric.
motto for the show.
That's what we should do. We should print shirts with our logo on it, and then quotes below,
evening,
and a blank
Jessica,
space that you
D1.
can fill it.
I'm calling opposition to
Third in a
items
row?
10A and 10B.
Wow, third
This is well
chat
beyond the
member in a
scope
row.
of the city
Let's
council
go.
to put this on the agenda, regardless of how bigoted and transphobic the councilors have been. This is not open to discussion on this floor. It's not relevant to your work as councilors. This is for the people to decide. If you want to do this, open the charter. Let's make a lot of changes for the city. This is not within your scope. You're targeting somebody that is having is not having their needs met by
Let's
this
open the
council.
charter.
You're
Let's
not willing to understand or
open the
hear
charter,
Councilor
Jess says.
Nguyen's demands, or even just simple asks, polite asks, honestly, to address the harm they face on this
You know, I
council
think at
by
this
these
point,
council members.
the Commenters
Thank
Union
you.
should have the 12th vote on the city, on any city council item.
Can we
Great
get
job,
two more speakers?
Jess.
And now we'll close that up.
Mayor, the next speaker is Jamie. Join with the resident now.
It's gray area epic. If you make it for yourself and not sell it, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Hello, my name's Jamie Courtney and I live in District 3. I'd like to start with advocating for item 8W, but the reason I'm calling in is to oppose items 10A and 10B. I believe these items were proposed in direct retaliation towards Councilor 2. Without addressing the harmful situation and looking for resolution, the disengagement you've seen
Nice
from
job,
2
Jess.
is a reasonable and predictable result from anyone in a disrespectful and hostile work environment. 2 has had to take action into their own hands with obtaining some kind of accountability outside of this disappointing body. I think it's important to point out 10A has a stipulation that allows absence due to good cause. The cause of 2's absence is the continual dismissal and invalidation of the blatant transphobia that has occurred, while continuously trying to penalize how 2 responds to it. Their withdrawal from council is not coming from flippancy or petulance. Although you may not term it as good, Two's absence is not without justification. I don't think it's a crazy expectation for city council members to have common decency and civility for one another. 10A and B are another horrifying example of how members of this council choose to side with the fascist administration who attacks and insinuates fear amongst
we had one at
marginalized
one point.
communities in order to divide and control. And history will speak to that. When it's scary to speak out, that's when it's the most important time to stand up. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, we'll go to
You know what? As much as I love that question, I'm going, Joe, I'm going to refrain from publicly speculating.
I don't think anyone's body is
Motion to open
disappointing on city
hearing.
council.
All those in favor?
I
Opposed?
celebrate
Ordered.
everyone's body.
We have 7A and 7B.
It's their brains I hate.
Which is a conduit
Right,
location
the
at
choices they
Worcester
make
Street,
that I despise.
and for a joint poll location on Taylor Street. Anybody opposed to those items?
But I'll tell you,
Seeing nobody
who has the
opposed,
most
motion is close the
inspiring
hearing. All
body?
those in favor? Opposed, so
On the city
ordered. Motions to adopt.
Yep.
Oh,
Could I?
I think
speak
we
on
don't
that?
even have to say it. We
There's
all
one in
know.
mind. There's one in mind.
George Russell.
Just-
I
just
want to
have
look
to
just like
guess.
George Russell.
Motion to
I'm
adopt.
trying to grow my
Those in
beard to
favor?
that
Opposed,
shape.
so ordered. What's that?
Yeah, that's what I
We're
was
on
gonna say. Is
7A and
George
B,
Russell.
correct. Okay. Petitions, 8A. Council IGI.
Yeah, I'd like to send 8A to the city manager.
Okay. Those in favor, opposed, so ordered. 8B, motion referred to the planning board. Those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
Yeah,
8C
so
to 8Q, refer to traffic and parking.
Ooh, what's going on here? Good job.
Mr. Chair, just a clarification on 8A, technically, I think it goes to the planning board, but if you want to send them to both, probably do that.
Send to what?
To planning board and the city manager, just procedural-wise?
Which one's? I don't even have the agenda pulled up. I'm like,
I'm not really sure.
I'm so checked out.
why, this is going to the planning board. This would be the first time that I hear a petition for a public street made public. I could be wrong. I'd like to go directly to the city manager because it's a discussion that we've been having. Unless you'd like it to go to both, it's.
We can bring it back to the city, and do we have to bring it back? We'll bring it back and send it to the planning board after the manager.
Does it have to go to the planning board? I'm
I
just
don't,
not.
I don't understand why it's going to the planning
I'm
board either.
unclear on this.
Councilor Russell, would you like to clarify that?
Mr. Chairman, the normal way this is done is all these are routinely sent to the planning board. The planning board has a hearing, they notify all the abutters, and then it comes back and it's routinely sent to the Public Works Committee. But if the.
That's another good
counselor
George Russell
so
word.
in her
The
district,
bottles.
If she wants it sent.
Bottles.
Sending it to the administration.
You just like saying butter.
I would also ask, Mr. Chairman, as a
Anything with a good double T roll.
administration comes back
Blah.
with a report talking
It's gonna
about
sound
what
good in
they
a
are
George
doing
Russell.
To make that money available for private streets.
Yeah, anytime I make quarter the car by Alberta Butters.
In the upcoming budget for the $6 per linear foot to at least grade these streets. So I'll ask that for a report.
Okay, Michelle Smith.
Best fast food in Miami? McDonald's.
What I heard was a question from the member in the corner, so apologies. Typically, the public street process, so in order for a private street to be converted to public,
Do they have
based on
cookout
Mass
down
General laws,
there?
there's a process where the
Go
initial
down to
step typically
Wynwood.
is to
There's
refer
way
that to
more
the
options in
planning board.
Wynwood,
Planning
like
board
South
has
Beach.
45 days to respond.
I've never
If
been to
they
Miami, but I
don't
drove
make
past it one
recommendation
time
then the
and I
council can
couldn't
pick
stop
that back
calling
up.
it Miami.
Typically, we
How
have
do you
that
drive
scheduled
past
for the
Miami?
available.
In
Where would you going?
The big ring of highway hellscape that runs
Right,
through
but like, where would you
Miami.
go?
I drove all the
Miami's
way to
kinda
Key
like-
West, baby.
So
all the way
thank
down
you.
to Key West.
I would ask if possible, can we,
Fabulous
if possible,
ride.
on behalf of the residents.
Fucking
because they
incredible.
are really
Best sunburn I
frustrated
ever
and
got was in a
rightly
rented
so.
Mustang convertible
expedite
falling
that so
asleep
that
on the old
they have a
bridges.
chance
What
to
the
come
fuck?
In the meantime,
Thought I
I'm
was gonna
happy
die
to,
when I
work
fucking
on
woke
my
up. I was
order,
so
which
hungover. Oh my god, that was.
request a little bit more information with the administration.
I'm
If
probably
that's
gonna
okay
end
with
up
the
living there one
petitioner,
day,
since this
being
is Mass
real.
General law. I just want to make
That
sure
was the
that
shirt we
we're
designed a while ago, Joe.
Courtney.
Well, let's see it again.
I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, we were going to do a whole series. Every counselor.
Okay, so why don't we just go with your recommendation then?
Okay, we'll send it to the planning board, along with 8B.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
On 8B, my item. If I may.
Councilor Russell?
Mr. Chairman, this item is the same item basically that we put in a few weeks ago, myself and
One of the best
Representative
Cubans I've ever had
Duncan,
was at a
bought
gas
parcel
station outside of
land,
Miami.
That is in between Route 20 and.
I love
Wildwood
it.
Just
Avenue.
sat there and ate it on the
There was a
curb.
proposal
It was
for
awesome.
a car auction that we're hoping is utilized for housing. It was a
A lot of really
mistake in
good
that
gas
original
station fried
petition.
chicken down south.
The city manager's team, headed up by Ms. Smith.
We just don't have that kind of
nice
game
enough
up here.
to review this with me and reword it accordingly to include the properties. that
I'm
were
heading
not
down to
included,
Texas
but
on
basically
Thursday if
it's the
anybody
same
needs me to pick up
intent
anything
as
between
last
Houston and
time.
College
Yeah.
Station.
As many kolaches as
In
you can
favor,
get.
opposed, so ordered.
Oh, there's so many down there.
Okay, 8C.
They're fucking
8Q
delicious.
For the traffic and parking.
Although they mostly are savory. You find them at like there's like donut shops that's, you don't get the pastry version.
8R, set a hearing for April 8th.
I thought the
I like the sausage and
standard version-
jalapeno ones from
Yeah.
from Buc-ee's are my
In
favorite
favor,
ones.
opposed, so ordered. Phil Neary and
Ooh,
Charles.
this is a good
Bracken
question
request an
from Gio
opportunity to
here.
brief the
Havana
council
Nights.
regarding
Anyone been to
Robert
Havana
H.
Nights?
Gordon
I have.
10
It's
year
I've been
delicious.
meaning to check it
current
out.
efforts
Is it
to
good?
prepare for the
Yeah, I
Senate
haven't
really
gotten
good.
there yet either.
in March of 2026.
All right, there we go.
It's really,
Travis
really
says it's
good.
good.
Thank you,
Travis
Mr.
says it's
Mayor.
good, and
Philip
he
Nigri,
only eats chicken
10
fingers with ranch on
Drive,
them.
Worcester, Mass.
So take
Some
that
folks may
for
be
what it's
wondering why
worth.
we're here to make this presentation.
Sometimes I check barbecue sauce.
An event that's
I get a
not
little
Sometimes I mix it up.
zesty.
until a year away. That's exactly
Yeah,
why.
this
Sometimes I
shirt-
buy. Sometimes I buy the
As
chicken
this
fingers that aren't
centennial
even
event
shaped
is
like
going to
dinosaurs.
celebrate two of Worcester's most historic citizens.
Yeah, sometimes I'm a
and we
grown up.
need your help to get the word out. Robert and Esther Goddard lived in Robert.
It's just similar enough. They stole the shit out of it.
That enabled Robert to accomplish
Gio, I really
his
don't know.
boyhood
I tend to
passion
drink
to
nothing
have
but regional
mankind
shit
explore
beer
the
anytime
outer
I'm traveling.
Space and fulfill his dream he had at the time.
And Texas has a
designed the
lot
cherry
of like
tree in his
regional
yard
shit beer.
As a young boy, the United States reached the moon.
Oh,
just
you know what I
43
read
years
in
later.
the frickin'
He was able to fulfill this dream because
Telegram,
he was focused on
whatever,
on
some
it
thing
throughout
about
his life.
WPI is there's
He was
so
not
Robert
only he
Goddard
was
had
not a
that little
healthy
house
child
there
and missed school
where
in
he
a number of
where he did his
of,
rocket experiments,
significant
and there's
different
apparently
blew off a
tunnels
chunk
down
of the
under
roof.
them. There's
As a
fucking
result,
tunnels under
he
there.
not only he not
Big,
was not
big
able
tunnels,
to graduate from
big
South High
tunnels.
until his as a
And you get caught down
valedictorian
in them,
until he was
you get
21 years
expelled.
old. However, he was driven to overcome all the
I
obstacles.
was told
and
you could
continue
still
his learning.
see where they repaired the
Robert and Esther
roof
were
or where he
persistent.
blew the
They did
roof
not give
off
up
during one of his
when the things,
experiments.
even the things that
pretty
they
sick.
tried
Like you
to
could still
do
see
and
where
they
they
hoped for
repaired it in like
were
the,
not
where
able
the
to
two
happen.
parts combined.
They probably had more rockets fail than they were successful, but did not ever give up in failure.
You know what? I'm just gonna go out here. I'm just
They
gonna.
had newspaper criticism
I'm gonna say it.
criticizing them.
I
and
don't
said the
think that
Goddards
rockets have
were
been a
considering
net
that the rockets
positive
cannot be flown in space. Space was backwards.
The world.
Obviously, that was not correct. They kept their direction and reached.
Like
They
the
had
amount
many
of
difficulties
good
and
rockets there have
criticisms in
been,
their-
you
in
can
their
count
But they
on
kept
one hand,
persisting
pretty much.
and
The
going
amount of
after
bad
what they
rockets.
believed was important for the future.
There's only one good rocket, and he's sitting in Travis's damn lap right now.
If any of you
No, he's
saw
not.
the
He's
look
downstairs.
of
Here, he's
Oh,
over here.
shut up! Shut up! Don't ruin the joke.
scholars
Sorry.
walking down
And yeah, they
West
talk about the
Ave,
bad rockets
St.
on
Patrick's
Signal.
Parade.
Yeah.
During the course of that, were taking and raising their fists and yelling for Goddard, Goddard, Goddard.
We love
I see
Robert
how
Goddard. He
important
tried to
those
blow up
kids
Auburn,
saw
and
his-
for that he'll
that
forever
was
be a
tough.
hero.
To be mentors of him.
I almost just spit took all over this computer.
The T-shirts read, "Just a kid from Webster Square who became the father of the space age." We want to instill in those students that they can do it too. It's important that they be persistent as
That is a
Goddard's
fun
were.
Clark story.
So we need your help.
I like that
As
story a
elected
lot.
appointed leaders of the city and anyone listening to this evening, so that the people around in this country.
And
can
Freud
celebrate
came to visit him at Clark
Goddard's
because
and
Goddard had
today's
so
and
many
tomorrow's
money
Goddards
issues.
From the great city we all love. We ask for your help.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, could I speak on that?
Yeah, then we'll just wrap it up. Mr. Slatkin wants a speech.
Oh, Charlie.
Yeah,
Hi,
two-
Charles
you have-
Slatkin,
you have
112
He's the guy that owns
Drive.
Goddard's house.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
I had a lunch
just
with him.
99 years ago, almost today,
about a year
Worcester's
ago.
own Robert Goddard
successfully launched the world's first liquid propellant rocket and ushered in the modern space age. And many considered Goddard's achievement as significant as the Wright brothers.
I don't know if he wants me talking about this, but
humanity
he
get off the
invited me
ground,
over to Goddard's
but
house one
Goddard
time, and I
and
got to
all
smoke
those that
weed in
followed
Goddard's
carried the
house, and that
torch
was probably
of
one of my
humanity
crowning
to the
Worcester
planet.
achievements.
And
That's
we're now
pretty sick,
actively
dude.
exploring the outer reaches of our own solar system.
Did you make a joke about how you're going to get high as a
All of
rocket?
Worcester.
You know it, Bill. Like that was.
And Clark and WPI and all of Worcester's citizens have the incredible bragging rights.
Wait a
as the
second.
birthplace
Yes.
Of incredible innovation.
Yeah, I did hear that. The
and
abundance.
The birthplace of space exploration.
Abundance.
And we need to brag it, and we need to
abundance.
And Worcester really has an incredible legacy in the history. And 349 days from today, Worcester and Auburn will be on the world stage.
The Maine South would wait. I missed that. The Maine South.
I know. That's why I want to
100th anniversary
hear more
of
about that.
Goddard's historic achievement. We're calling it the first launch space centennial, modeled after the Wright brothers' first flight centennial in 2003.
There's not
And
a
at
lot
this
of
Wright
woods
brothers event, tens of thousands of people
in Maine
showed up,
South.
including the President of the United States, astronauts, and all the local
Maybe it was
dignitaries.
different in the 90s.
Phil Nidre and a small number of volunteers and I are doing all we can to inspire a local and especially a national movement to celebrate Goddard. And as we've toured the country and spoke with aerospace companies around the
He's my
around
favorite
the
character
country,
from the Jimmy Neutron
people
show.
are really excited about the Goddard opportunity and how they can celebrate in their own ways. Every kid knows who Thomas Edison is, and we want every kid to know who Goddard is and be inspired by his incredible
fuck yeah.
story. Here's a quick summary of some of the things
Oh
we're
yeah.
working on, making some
The Maine
progress.
South Woodsman has its own Wikipedia
We're
page.
gonna send this to committee
I'm reading it
anyways.
right now.
for-
Kind of a bummer. Let's not talk about it anymore.
Well, go to the website, you can see the progress we've
Yeah.
made, and we do need everyone's help and involvement, and we hope we can excite the community in terms of really taking advantage of this opportunity.
Well, Thank you for coming out, much appreciated. Councilor Hi-GI?
Yeah, could we send this to Parks?
Just a
and-
really
First
shitty
one is
From
Yeah,
Hell
I would
remake.
like to invite both Charles and Phil.
I think what
to-
we can all agree is that they should have done season 3 of
All
Mindhunter.
those in favor, opposed, so ordered. 8T, Alexander Russo, request City Council, request manager install a monument plaque outside the old courthouse, indicating at the site of the Worcester
I wish Worcester had
Revolution
like a
of
Hunter Biden kind of
1774.
figure.
We'll send that
Like,
to city manager. All those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
Joe Petty's son. It's just like
Patrick
out
Gray
of
requests that
fucking
city
control.
council request city manager work with the Worcester Historical Museum to design a historical exhibit of the Worcester City Hall and the old Worcester Town Hall to be on display at the Worcester City Hall. We'll send that to the city manager.
That's
All
not
in
what they're
favor,
called
opposed,
anymore,
so
Joe.
ordered. Patrick Gray requests city council request city manager restore the sources to the facade at City Hall. I'm sorry, what's that say? This scones.
Sconces, you son of a bitch.
Facade at City Hall. All those in favor?
What is a
opposed, so
sconce? I
ordered.
read that.
Noe Medina.
And-
requests city
The
council
wall
adopt
lighting.
attached Item declaring recognizing April 2nd, 2025. as
British
Autism
pastry.
Acceptance and Awareness Day in the city of Worcester, fostering education acceptance in our community.
A dry, crumbly, and flavorless pastry. That's not true, actually. I've had a good stone once or twice in my life. Scone. Scone? Stone? Scone.
A scone is a pastry.
Right, a stone is
Hi,
a,
thank
like
you
a rock.
everyone. Thank you,
Yeah.
Councilman.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah,
Mayor
yeah.
Petty.
That's what I got at
It's
Robert
been,
Goddard's house.
A long wait for Manolo tonight, but he hung in there. First, I want
LA.
to show appreciation to the parents, educators, advocates, and service providers who have supported this initiative. I would like to specifically acknowledge parents Heather Stanek, Andrew Keefe, Hope Fisher, Elizabeth Fontaine.
Oh, thanks for the follow.
Senator Robin Kennedy, Councilman Christian King at large, Vice Mayor, Jennifer Gaskin, David Webb, the Seven Hills Foundation, HLC, the NAACP, Open Sky, the Center for Living and Working, the Worcester Islamic Center, Citizens for Juvenile Justice 1722, Behavior
I
and
know
Consulting,
your asses, bro.
educator Sal Ramos, Christian Frazier, Layla El Rafai, Alex Rivera, and many others who signed the petition for an official proclamation to declare April 2nd as Autism Acceptance and Awareness Day in Worcester. This initiative is both a formality and a crucial step towards advocating for local funding, raising awareness and acknowledging the long road ahead for many communities with limited knowledge about autism living within our city. April is National Autism Awareness Month, and we aim to designate April 2nd specifically as Worcester's Autism Awareness Day. The shift from awareness to acceptance reflects the deeper understanding of autism, while awareness refers to the knowledge of autism's existence and characteristics. Acceptance goes further by advocating for inclusion, of individuals with autism in all areas of our city and society. This proclamation is not just a formality, it's a heartfelt dedication to my little boy and all the local parents, advocates, and educators in Worcester. In these uncertain times, with what's happening nationally with all the budget cuts and
I
our
just
fears
realized
of
I have
losing
like a lamp
services,
I can angle
their love,
and a disco
solidarity,
ball.
and care for individuals with autism keep our community moving forward.
So.
And what are you waiting
In
for?
2023,
Oh, wait, I
ran
forgot
for
I
the
had
Worcester
this
School
thing, too.
Committee, and I knocked down
I just
thousands of
realized
doors.
that looking at the way
On
Ted's
almost every
sitting,
block,
he
I
absolutely
encountered
sits like that at
families
home and
caring
puts
for
food on
children
his stomach and
or
eats it.
family members with autism.
It's like
And
the
what I learned
perfect,
is no
it's the
matter
perfect stance
the
for it.
ethnicity, where they live, their level of privilege, every parent of a child with autism has cried on the bathroom floor and felt alone on this journey, myself included. But we are not alone. And now we have a day, April 2nd, hopefully, when the city of Worcester recognizes its diverse and vibrant autism community.
Keeps fucking getting me right in my eye.
Thank you
Manolo.
to our city council, the mayor, Nico, and the city's clerk's office for listening and making this day possible. And
to Councilwoman Atal Hajayi for answering the call and listening to the crazy idea I had while on a hike last Tuesday and encouraging me to mobilize and make it happen.
Whoa, this one's awesome.
Make it happen, Manolo, and
We are proud that you represent us, Atal. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's go, Manolo. Let's go, Manolo. Yeah, what the fuck, Manolo?
Councilor Bergman? Yes. Councilor Gloria?
Yes.
Councilor Aguirre?
Yes, and
Councilor King?
I'm not bullying
Councilor
Colleen.
Carlson?
I'm just asking her
Councilor
if
Nguyen?
she's okay
Councilor
and if
Ojeda?
she'll answer me.
Councilor Pasillo?
Yes.
And then inviting her
Councilor
to join in
Russell?
on this
Councilor
stream.
Toomey?
So you're just
Oh
asking questions,
my
is what you're
God.
saying?
It's not bullying.
Can we please
That's
have Colleen on?
that's extending an olive branch, if anything.
If Colleen
Recess
joins
for
this
5-minute
show,
recess.
that would
All
be
those
one
in
of the
favor?
highlights.
So ordered.
Recess time.
Why are we taking a
Yeah.
recess? Yeah.
What the hell's
was-
this about?
They go and talk about the best Disney cartoon from the late 90s to early 2000s.
It's true. That's very true.
Without us?
Recess is,
That's like the most interesting thing ever.
Mhm.
recess is criminally underrated. You know what else is good? You ever seen Mission Hill? It's like an adult.
Mission
comic.
Hill is a good show.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah, that was a
Yeah.
good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever see 3 South?
Oh, fuck. Shit.
That was a good one. That was an MTV cartoon for a while.
No.
I
That shit
really
keeps
like
hitting me in my eye.
the clones. God damn it.
Clone High.
Clone High. Clone High was a great show.
Yeah, Clone High was good. Clone High was good.
I still
Oh,
say
you know what I saw?
G-spot.
What was the robot from that? The robot butler? Wesley.
Oh my God, the Robot Butler.
Great show. Early Will Forte part. He played Abe Lincoln in that.
Oh
Be
shit.
back in a second. I'm gonna run and grab some food.
Yeah, I tell people
The
that
Evil Bong. So Evil Bong is a movie made by Full Moon Features, executive produced by Charles Band, a one-man production and director who makes a bunch of crazy, where do we say, sub-trauma level horror movies like Evil Bong and Ginger Dead Man. I had an internship there at Full Moon Productions for one day because I showed up and I was like, all right, I'm here for the internship. And they were like, great. And they're like, what we want you to do is go and make fake profiles on every movie message board and then just say that you think our movies are great. I was like, okay, cool. So I like sat around all day pretending to do that. And at the end of the day, I was like, I can't do this. This is not cool. So, but they gave me a free copy of Evil Bong and Ginger Dead Man. So
For your troubles?
yeah, for my troubles. Yeah, they're nice guys. They were just really like, carnies.
That is a Cardi move.
Yeah, big time. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I do on the Worcester subreddit. I have like 5 or 6 accounts, and some of them suck wicked bad. And then I'll go in and I'll reply to them, be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, you just dunk on your own.
Yeah.
You know what? A cool move that you did that I thought was cool is that you have an account that says Bill Shaner sucks, and then you're like, well, actually, I you all know I hate Bill Shaner, but he actually made some really good points in this one. Like, that's a real 4D chess move that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Did you call it Adrian Dittman?
You know what I saw yesterday? Chat. The movie Black Bag, the new Steven Soderbergh movie. Everyone's gotta go see that shit. It's the
Black
best.
Bag, good.
Mm-hmm. It ruled.
Damn. Yeah.
Everybody ready?
Colleen East. Colleen East is so good. Oh my God! Someone please make a Facebook profile called Colleen East. What's going on here?
I think we're having a Romaning.
No,
Oh, Roman.
He's large. He's in charge.
Say hi, buddy.
Those floppy ears.
It's fun. Sometimes he sits outside and the wind blows them back and they just stay straight out like that.
Poor guy. Does he whack him on tables and shit?
Yeah, he's just running it. Yeah, he's just bowling through the house all the time.
Zeke does it all the time. He picks the worst places to do his wag, and then he slaps his ears on the couch. And I'm just like, it's got to be uncomfortable.
Roman full on headbutted me today. He does this thing where he stands up really fast, and he full on headbutted me right in the nose, and I thought he broke it because he's massive. Good boy. Everybody thank Jess for bringing Roman down for a little recess treat.
Thanks, Jess.
That's like the best thing that can happen is when you see a dog during recess. Like, what is better than that when that happens? A dog just walks onto the playground at recess.
Oh yeah.
It's the absolute best.
You can't get any better than that.
Yeah, Kimber, you're welcome. You know the invitation is valid at any time. Come on over. Roman loves you. My neighbor had I just want to mention Colleen East is fucking perfect. We need to do something with that.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, it's too good.
My neighbor had a German Shepherd and a Pit Bull Rottweiler mix, were his 2 dogs. And then they had puppies together. So he kept one of them. So he had a German Shepherd, Pit Bull, Rottweiler mix dog. The 3 best dogs I've ever known in my life up until I met Roman. And they were fenced in. They had in a fenced in yard, and they used to jump the fence and follow us to school, and just walk us to school every once in a while. And I swear to God, you've never felt cooler in your life than when you're walking onto the playground and a German Shepherd is walking unleashed next to you. And then the entire school clears out from the playground because the teachers are terrified of the dog and pulling everybody inside. It's the most badass I've ever felt ever.
It's
so cool.
Pretty hard to not feel real cool when that happens.
Spike, what a great dog.
Perfect German Shepherd name. Really.
That is a good German Shepherd name.
Yeah. I love those dogs. Whoa. That's very cool.
Oh my God, that's the shortest sad story ever told. That's the shortest Worcester story ever told. Found a rifle.
That rock. We were shooting a sketch one time. Me and my brother and our friends, and we were at a studio that had an apartment in it, and we were in the apartment and trying to unwire a light for the shoot, because we needed we couldn't just have the light turned up, like we needed it turned off. So we opened up the ceiling panel, and there was a big scoped rifle in there that had clearly been there for a long time. And we were like, whoa, this was used by somebody. Whitey Bulger was found 1.5 miles away from there. I'm not saying, but he did have a wall full of weapons in his apartment as well. But we found the rifle, and then we were just like, all right, we're gonna keep this, and we kept it. And it was a real gun. We just kept it, and then we used it. We used it in live shows for a couple of years.
That's sick.
We drove to San Francisco with it in the car. It was very, very stupid, but it was very cool.
That's awesome. That's so dope.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
man.
big morons.
Okay, we'll start this council meeting.
Oh, check it out. Check it out. Okay. Everyone go buy the Worcester suck shirt.
Yeah.
Here. Councilor Caloria.
It's about some sort of Jamaican guys. I'm not sure.
Councilor Carlson. Councilor Nguyen. Councilor Ojeda.
Here. Travis, this design came out so good.
Councilor Toomey.
Dude, it was a great idea. It was really fun to draw.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm stoked everybody loves it.
Pitts did a really good job.
Request adoption of amendment.
Yeah, they fucking nailed that print.
Yeah,
it's beautiful in person. God damn, that's a good looking print.
Yeah,
it's tight.
Roll call.
Not easy.
Because there's a lot of little lines in that one, and they like the lines of the yellow and the I was geeking hard when I looked at it.
Yeah.
The gun was not loaded. It was also a single capacity bolt action rifle. So, and it was a 22, I think. So I don't really think it was used in an assassination of any kind, but it was still cool.
The information that the folks at Public Works told me about earlier in the year, that the Massasoit Road will, in fact, be resurfaced.
If you grabbed one today, it's in the mail. Because I like to be prompt. I like to be prompt with my merch.
We look forward to that. Mr. Chairman, this report, though, I'd ask for, first of all, to be sent to Public Works for a hearing at the
Colleen needs
Public
profile
Works Committee,
photo.
similar to what we did for Grafton Street and Hamilton Street, similar to what we did for Chandler Street over near Worcester State College. I don't want it to be a situation where the plan, because this report doesn't show a plan, I keep being told that there isn't a plan yet. I'd love to see one, and I'd also like to see what's
Somebody turn the
included,
TV so we can't get
because this
George Seption.
alludes about sidewalks being put to fill in spaces.
They just want
which
to take
sounds like
everything
a
good
thing,
from
but
us.
Does that mean the folks that own the houses are going to lose some of their land, or they're going to be charged?
Oh, we had a great show on Friday night, the Sort of Late Show, Off the Rails.
They put a sidewalk in with
Bill and the new overqualified band crushed.
You guys are so good.
I want to know about people
It was
in the
unbelievable.
neighborhood.
I didn't send you guys the video. There was a dance competition next door at the Centrum, and there was a family inside the restaurant while you guys were doing sound check, and the little girls were just dancing to you guys playing and going crazy, and they're like, "We want to go to this show," and we're just like, "You can't come to the show."
And here's the plan. We'll have a meeting about it.
Jack, what do you mean I owe you?
Have a plan in advance so that we know what the determination is about these changes for the
freaking Jack.
You barely helped. We had to start like 3 different accounts. You kept fucking it up.
Yeah, there's a reason why we're not WCT3K.
So send that to committee. Those in favor?
That low-key annoys me every time I see it. Whatever. Doesn't really matter.
Communication relative to the city's fire sprinkler policies and potential impact of adopting.
Oh, did you?
MDL Chapter 148.
Sucks to suck.
261.
Oh.
So send that to committee.
Oh, well, that actually is my bad. I'll get you.
Roman is.
I have a couple of questions for.
Why did you send me $30
through the chair?
So
just figuring this out live on air.
The acceptable bite ratio is only when necessary.
Nibbles.
To the chair, Chief
Yeah.
Dyer, I appreciate both
He won't even.
of
He won't.
the,
He will not bite
communications that you submitted to
in
City
any way.
Council. particularly
He won't
this
even grab
one
treats
where
out of your
you
hand unless he
outline the
thinks he won't
benefits
actually
and,
touch your hand.
Also delineate very clearly
Very
what
polite.
adopting
Oh.
26I will do and what it won't.
Investigating Jack
If
Murray's
you could,
claim
for the
that he sent me
public, could you
$30
remind
for a
us
shirt.
what your recommendation that
Listen
you
to this.
submitted to City Council has been on 26I?
Yep, I said when he
Well, then
requested
maybe
a
take
shirt,
6K
can you
off the-
Venmo me
16K
$20?
off the
That
table?
would be great. That would
Okay.
be my
And
I
then
missed that.
no response,
Apologies.
and
So
then
16K.
2 Mondays
Take it
after
off the
that, hey
table.
Jack,
Roll
getting ready
call.
to send out the shirts. Did you pay me? Don't see anything in the Venmo history.
Councilor Bergman?
Wow.
Ooh,
Yes.
ooh.
Wow,
Florio?
Jack.
I have been exonerated.
Yes.
Councilor Algier?
Yes.
I bet fucking Jack hates a paper trail.
Yes.
Councilor Mark Carlson? Councilor Nguyen? Councilor Ada?
The Murrays
Councilor
famously hated
Costello?
paper trail.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
What do you mean he got one in his mouth?
Oh, he picked. We had a rabbit warren in our backyard,
Through the chair to the council.
and he picked up a baby
my
bunny.
recommendation
'cause
was
he
that
didn't know what it was.
the
and
council adopt 26I
didn't
as
didn't
Just
put a
delicately
scratch
pick
on
it
it.
up.
measure that
Picked it up, dropped it, was like, ugh.
is
Then
not
tried to pick it up
going
again. We're
to
like, no.
greatly
And
impact
that was it. Then we blocked it off, and he
how sprinklers are
desperately tried to sniff it
ordinances
for the next 2 months.
are applied. That it's
He's got
kind of
Lenny energy for sure.
That when
For
the
sure.
building code may not cover something, that the fire code comes in and does cover it.
Thank you, Chief. And in
Dollar
your
dues.
estimation as a frontline firefighter and the authority on this matter,
That's not a knife.
What are the benefits to both
This
our
is a knife.
residents and the men and
That's a
women
spoon.
that serve
See, you
in the
played
Worcester Police
knifey spoony
Department, the Worcester
before.
Fire Department, as well as
Wait,
to the
best
first
joke
responders
in
and police
television
officers
history.
that respond to fire tragedies.
Chief.
Through the chair to the councilor. So it has never been more dangerous to be caught in a house fire or
Now,
a
now.
residential building
Don't
fire than it is
don't
today with
you
the amount
guys
of,
in the chat start talking about
petroleum-based
grievances,
plastics and,
filing
the amount of
grievances.
just stuff that are
Don't do that.
Today. The fires take
You know,
off at
We're a
great
family.
intensity.
We
and
are a
grow
family here. We do not
exponentially,
need
very
a
quickly.
third party coming in here.
When we have the opportunity to upgrade our housing,
It really
stock
sucked to have to
and
fire some
put
people.
sprinkler
So please don't
systems,
put us in that
automatic
position.
sprinkler systems into
We're a
those
family.
buildings, we have the opportunity to quickly
We're basically Fast and the
put
Furious.
out a fire or to control a fire and give the residents enough time to escape the building. That is a huge benefit to our residents.
We're the slow and
obviously
amenable.
that makes it safer for fire.
There's a lot
fighters
going on in
where
this comment,
It is
but
Oh,
under
shit.
control, at least. The fire would not be out most likely, but it will be under control when the fire department
I like Gio's
arrives.
comment.
And the same
Why
thing
hasn't
with our
anyone
police
talked about the
department,
benefits
who,
of house fires?
Sometimes arrives first and tries to evacuate the buildings. It makes a safer situation for them as well.
Thank you, Chief Dyer. Do we know, to the best of your abilities, how many communities, municipalities across Massachusetts have adopted 26I?
Through the chair to the councilor.
Yeah, I do appreciate how
I
firefighters kind of
don't
have carte
recall what
blanche
the
because
number
nobody
is,
really
but it
wants their
is
job
a
except
fairly
other people that want to go into burning buildings.
that have adopted.
But I tend not to get along with a lot of firefighters, so I'll wave at them. I'll be friendly. but I don't want to hang out with them.
I mean,
you don't get along with firefighters?
Communities, and that
I mean, not every, you know what I mean? That's not a blanket statement, but they tend to be not personalities that jive well with mine.
I didn't have a chance to share with you. I reached out to the
What, you
state
don't like
fire
racists?
marshal.
It's the dude bro vibes that get me.
From
I don't want
his
everything to be a
perspective, from
pissing
his
contest.
perspective,
Oh, Jack. texted me
Oh!
receipts, did he?
I do have
Further
support from the
developments.
state fire marshal. I do intend
He
to
sent it to
enter
Bill
that into the
Shiner.
record, email it to the city councilors, email it to you as well, because I think it's an important endorsement from an authority at the state, acknowledging that 26I is a life-saving measure for both
Firefighters are just
Americans,
better
for,
branding.
for firefighters, for police departments,
know?
and first
Well,
responders.
joke's on you, Jack, because I'm
and
using
Chief,
my phone
at this
as
point,
my camera, so I can't look at my Venmo. Because I don't know the
Why is it
password,
that-
so I can't
Let
look
me
at it.
rephrase that. Have
on
we,
there.
has
So-
Worcester adopted pretty much all of the statutes?
Take me to small
under,
claims, brother.
The fire and building code. I'm not framing that phrase right, but you know what I mean. The fire statutes under Massachusetts general laws.
Through the chair to the councilor, we have.
So is it fair to say that 26I would be the only statute that Worcester has not adopted?
Through the chair to the council, I believe that is correct.
And lastly, thank you, Chief. I do appreciate your support of this. I trust your authority and your expertise unequivocally. I want to thank you personally for all the hard work that you all put into saving the residents at Washington Heights. If folks remember, we have had now 2 tragedies and over 100 District 5 residents. And in both of those tragedies, not a single person
One
lost
time
their
I went to
lives because you folks
fire
ran towards
station
fire when the
that's
rest
next
of
to the
us
Taco Bell
are home
to
safe.
do some
So
sort
I
of
do
story on
appreciate
something.
your
I don't
endorsement of
remember
this.
what.
And I'm done with my question.
But I do remember that one of the
I do
firefighters
want
was like, "Hey, you
to
like
ask,
bacon?"
And make a plea
And
directly to
then he showed me the bacon
chair
that
of
he
public
made from
safety,
his
Councilor
pigs that he
Toomey, to
roast
take this into
in the
committee
freezer.
to
And he was like, "I'll give you
prioritize
this
it.
for $10."
We
And I was like,
have
"Fuck
a
yeah."
respected
The
chief
best bacon I've ever
of
had
our
in
fire
my life.
department,
Just a
a
big
state
slab
fire
of frozen
marshal,
bacon. Oh, so good.
District 5 residents who have all
Nobody
asked us to
makes
take
better
action
bacon than the guy that
on
named
a
the
very
pig.
simple statute that 100+ communities across
This
the
is,
board,
this
across
article you put in the
Massachusetts
private
have already
chat is
adopted. There is
fascinating.
no reason why we
I
shouldn't
shared
be
it.
adopting
People need to
for
check
the
it
sake
out.
of our residents, for the
Of all the
sake of
people getting
lives of
sued
our
for using
first
Buc-ee's,
responders,
there's
firefighters,
a
police
haunted
officers
Buck
who,
Two's
as I
in
said, run
Super
towards
Mercado,
danger when the rest of us
where it's just
are
like a
safe at home.
tormented version of
So that
Bucky.
would be my ask. Of
We should start a
Councilor Toomey
Worcester
to
themed
please take
Buc-ee's
this
called
into committee.
Wookiees, and
Let's
but
discuss
it's
it there. Let's have the
Chewbacca's the
chief,
mascot.
and other folks who want to come to that committee.
That's a sick
go
idea.
through,
Motherfucker, now I gotta draw that.
Yeah.
All the
Wookiees. Yeah, you
discussion
should
that
draw
you
that,
are
Travis. I
bringing
think that
to our
might take
chief,
off.
And let's vote this through, regardless
That's a
of
good
our
idea.
differences on other
From the
issues
mouth
on
of
this council.
babes, you know?
You
I
know,
hope this is
I am a
moment of
babe.
unity,
Yeah,
for
that's what
all
I
of
was
us,
doing.
because
That's what I was
our
saying, yeah.
residents' lives
Ow.
come first. Our firefighters'
That
lives
was my
come
that was
first.
that was my
Our
favorite
first
part of the.
responders' lives come
It was
first.
really
Our
good.
police department
It was
lives
worth the wait.
come first. And I truly hope, Chief, that the rest of the council will take your endorsement to heart, and we will
Taco
move this
John's
as expeditiously
has
as
its
possible.
moments.
Thank you, Chief.
I will say.
Thank you, Councilor Russell.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to ask a question, if I may, or two, through you to the chief.
It's a
Chief,
Midwest
right now,
taco
currently,
fast
if
food
someone
restaurant.
has,
They did open one in
major
Fitchburg though,
loss in a
so you
floor
can check
plan.
it out.
When I say
Their
major loss,
thing
it's
is
fire
they're
damage, water damage, whatever. You know, they have to gut the place
the
out. basically.
positive of it
What
is that
happens now?
their like
That's
version
not
of
sprinkler,
fries
they
is
require it or
essentially is like the little hash brown
Counselor,
coins
so it would be up to the
that Burger
through the
King
chair,
has, but
Counselor.
theirs are way better.
It would be up to the building commissioner to determine, well, first of all, the appropriate way would be for the
Del
the
Taco's
builder,
very
when
good.
they,
Del Taco
submit
rocks.
for their building permit, that they have.
Del
a proper
Scorcho
code
sauce is way better than
by a
fire sauce.
licensed engineer. That
So it's
would
really
do
what it's
that
called.
code review and determine whether or not it was required. Then our building official would have to review that and.
Del Taco
and
also
see if
sells
it
burgers and
qualifies
french fries.
For the sprinkler system.
It's a very
there are
weird place.
tables within the building code that talks about how much, what constitutes a major renovation.
One time I
and
called
would
it Del
require
Taco.
it, and then they would
in,
apply
like, the
that
Tucson
standard.
area, and
Mr. Chairman,
it
my
was
understanding
saved
is
in my
not
caller
only for
ID, and I
4
have no
families
idea
and
why.
above, but even for 3 families and above. If there's a
Were you
major
in Tucson?
renovation,
Yeah.
it would trigger.
Yeah, and it
sprinklers.
like
And
rang
that's a good
rang
thing.
as
But
Del Taco
my
and not the
questions
phone
are,
number that I had
and,
looked up
this'll
to
probably
go
better
place the
handled
order.
at the committee
So
level when they send it to Councilor Toomey.
I got freaked out for a second.
But because they do have the building code in place now.
I love
think it's
Tucson.
already
My brother
triggered.
used to live there.
And maybe I'm wrong.
It
And
rules.
if
The
I am
Hotel
wrong, please
Congress?
Tell me at the committee.
Yeah,
level,
dude.
or
Sick
come back
venue.
with a report saying
Yeah.
why I am, but I'm pretty sure that's already
They have a
been done.
great indie
And my
movie
concern
theater
is
there
not
too. I
the chief,
cannot remember the
because
name of
we
it.
all work with the chief and we respect his judgment, but this.
Best
is
tacos I've ever had in my
the
life.
way
Stand outside
the
Hotel
regulations
Congress.
word is kind of
I had
open-ended,
cabeza,
And I'd like to see if it could be.
Ooh, yeah.
Clarified.
the head meat.
And point to some
Yeah.
regulations,
Whoa.
maybe in the
Stuff.
building code or something
yeah.
else, so that maybe a chief in the future might look at it as just.
Cabeza,
Did you get a Sonora dog?
Siding a property or something.
No, I don't know
to
what that
put new
is.
windows in.
Oh, it's
and you wanna
it's
make
a
sure those goes.
Arizona
it's a
specialty.
costly item. It
Like their
doesn't,
regional
uh,
type
end up triggering
of hot
it. So
dog.
I'd like
It's
to know
a
the definitions,
bacon wrapped
where
hot
the
dog.
triggers are on these
With
that
a
should
shitload of
be
ingredients on
adopted.
it there.
And I really, even after reading the report, I really don't see much.
Iris just gave up on
difference.
being a
looking
vegetarian for the
forward to
first time in 30
more
years, and that was like one of her
Nice.
first meals was a fucking Sonora dog back in February.
No shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I
Sonora
just want
dogs
to
roll.
say,
George Russell
that
just
kinda
copped to not
quizzically,
reading this
of course
report.
I'm gonna take this.
Yeah.
Of course,
That's
we're gonna have a
fucking
discussion about this, and I certainly look
so
forward
sick.
to it.
Jack in the
And I think
Box,
it's very
they
important
have
to
their
get down
tacos
to
are good
Russell
and
for
it's not real meat, so
questions and
vegetarians can
points,
eat
and I
them.
think that,
They
we
used
should,
they were using like soy
definitely
meat
move,
like
forward
way
with this, so
before
I would certainly
the
thank
like fake meat
Okay.
like craze came around.
Councilor
And they
Bergman.
also used to, if a Dodger player
Thank you, Mr.
stole a
Chairman.
base, then you get free
Just
Del
through the
Taco.
chair
I mean
to
Jack in the Box
Chief,
tacos.
Thank you for this report. I'm
It
glad
was
we could
awesome.
get it off the table. I think we tried to take a vote on that just recently. We did it this time, so that's a good movement. It's always good to have further public input. If you could just speak through the chair of the difference between the current code and this particular measure, as referenced by my colleagues, so that I can understand before it goes to committee. I may not, be available for a different committee to attend. So if you could just speak to that quickly through the chair.
Through the chair to the councilor. The building code requires anything that any multifamily with 4 or more dwelling units is going to require a sprinkler system if it is newly constructed. So 26I doesn't really have a place there. It would if the building code didn't come up. And we got to remember that 26I was adopted by the Mass Legislature at a time when the building code had not caught up to the
Damn,
fire
now
protection
Trump's
standards
gonna
that were in the fire code. It has now caught
get back
up.
to his dastardly
But
ways.
So for new construction, multifamily with 4 dwelling units,
What did
they're
I
going
miss?
to be sprinkled. This comes into
Cory
play. really
Booker
when
broke the
something
record.
is going
I mean,
to
that's what it was about. It was about breaking the
And so
record. It
the
wasn't
fire
about fucking
department,
doing anything.
the building code is for a substantial renovation.
We're so fucked.
We are so
the
fucked.
26I
They're
is
just, they're
substantially
literally so.
rehabilitated. Okay, so there's a little bit.
Even
of
the way that
words
everyone's
that
talking
are
about all
different.
this stuff going on, it's like,
But
don't
it
they
depends on
realize
how
that
you
this is
interpret those
stupid
words.
what they're
In the
doing?
building
Like
code,
the
there's a
Republicans, it's like
table
yes,
that is,
they
part
know
of the,
they're being
building
hypocrites.
code, and
They
it
know
kinda
it's
spells
not
out
going to
for the
work.
building
They're
official
trying to
what
dismantle the
what is,
structure of
a
this country so they can turn it into a privatized
and
techno
it gives them
corporate
several
state.
choices
Like
to apply. And there's
they're
a
not
free
hiding it.
expression
They're doing
that
it on
takes place
purpose.
in
Peter
those
Thiel wants to create like
26I
cyberpunk
puts
like
just substantially rehabilitated
technocracies.
under the purview
Yeah,
of
I was just
the
actually
fire
reading
chief's
a book
judgment.
about that.
Now that has been tested.
They're buying
through
up
courts. In
land
2016, the Supreme
to start a
Court
city.
of Massachusetts
Right.
ruled
Multiple.
that there
Right.
Yeah.
had to be more to it than
Like-
that.
I mean, they've got an
So
entire island
there's
off
a
the
little
coast
bit
of
of
Guatemala
test
that's
called fire
they've owned for almost a decade now,
in
and
which
laying
fire
out the
chiefs
framework
should
for just that.
Yeah.
It's really kind of cool when you get into the weeds on it, though, because it's not just that, right? Like the Steve Bannon universe of Trump world, like hates the tech bros.
Right.
Like Steve Bannon hates nobody more than Elon Musk and all of the people underneath him on
That's
Earth.
what I was getting at. If you
And
could
Peter
just
Thiel
kind
lives in
of
his own little
give a
universe
brief
because he's
elaboration
actually
on
like a
McLaren's, standard as
apocalyptic
reference in this
Catholic,
report.
like of the Tradcath tradition.
So
And like
I
believes
can't
that everything
remember
that
the year,
he's
I think
doing through
2003 or
Palantir
2006,
is to get a
sometime
heads up on
there,
when his
in Holyoke,
apocalyptic
Massachusetts,
idea
there was
of an
2016,
antichrist comes into
No,
fruition.
that's,
Like
that's when the Supreme
it's
Court,
every
ruled
every
on it.
strain from the Trump universe
They were
is so
going to,
completely fucking nuts.
substantially
And that's
rehabilitate
the most
to,
amazing part of them all getting their own way with a bunch
dwellings.
of fucking nerds hanging outside the federal
They-
courthouse with signs
fire
thinking they're going to
chief
stop anything.
declared that 26I.
It's just
Fucking
like
laughable.
there's no regular shit. There's no
install
like
sprinkler systems. They tried to
there's no like
appeal through
reappealing to
several normal avenues
norms
that you
or
have in the
like
fire code.
like that's gonna
But under
work. Like you
26I, there
literally
is
are gonna
no
have
appeal
to
mechanism. So it ended up
like
being taken up by
kill these people
housing
to stop them.
and then it just
I don't know
You're
what
not
else.
totally off. I mean, the one nice thing is that the only institution that doesn't seem to be
where they
completely buckling is the
determined
Pentagon,
that you really need
which is
to
why they're
apply
going as hard as
standard.
in the
It can't
paint
just
as they
be the
possibly
fire
can on their
chief's
budget.
judgment. There has to
Because
be
they're
a
not
basis
seeing like
behind it.
any
So
sort of
basically,
fealty
the
coming
chief has to
from
have
the
documentation.
officer
They
side
have
of the
to
Pentagon,
understand
Department of
what
Defense.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I'm really
rehabilitation will be. They have to understand what would the
it's,
cost
unfortunately
of
we're
putting
gonna
solar
find out
system
what
into a
happens when
brand
push
new
comes to
building.
shove. But
What would that
like,
cost? And is this reasonably close
not
to
looking
it?
forward to it based on the way that all
at
of
the
law
end of the
enforcement
day,
has pretty
would you
much just
would
been like,
you
yeah, cool, all
consider
right, yeah,
this
let's do
like
kidnapping.
new
was saying that to a bunch of folks in law enforcement today. Like, you want to see how quickly you can fucking radicalize normies? Keep grabbing like the one El Salvadorian dude who actually did the right thing, send him back to El Salvador, and then say, sorry, we can't help you get him back. Like, that's how you get a bunch of normies to go open season on a federal law enforcement in a really hot summer.
Did you send us that story that was basically saying like that, like police departments are terrified now or are pissed because they're freaking out about how much white people are starting to hate them?
Yeah,
and they're getting really worried.
That's so fucking sick.
Yeah.
Send that to public safety.
I'll be right back. I have a crisis on my hands right now. Absolute crisis. Yeah, it's really bad. It's really fucking bad.
All right, take care of it. We'll be here.
Skip choking to a 5-minute recess.
Yeah, Bill's got diarrhea problems. It's fine. It happens to all of us.
No, it's not that.
He ate Taco John's.
I have to go drive a t-shirt to Jack's house.
To Jack before he kills you.
In explaining to what the 650 unfilled detailed job assignments were, because it really.
Yeah, I didn't want to dive into
it
the
needs to be explained a little bit
Fifth
further, so
Element
people understand that we weren't
Demolition
letting,
Man discourse, but yes, Taco
details be
Bell
completely
is the only restaurant to survive this franchise wars in Demolition Man.
explain the process. That would be helpful.
Chief?
Through the chair to the council, that's correct. In 2024, there was 650 unfilled. That occurs when, let's say, there's a paving job and the company asks for 10 officers. Well, they may only be able to get 8. So that 2 would go in as an unfilled job. Right now, the software has been updated. As you can
Do you
see.
know what happens when you request a detail and they don't have officers to fill it?
With that software upgraded, they're able
They
to
never tell you, and they never tell you, and you find out when they just don't show up.
say a big storm came in, they have to cancel 25 details. In the past, that would go in as an unfilled, because that's what the software, how it would read.
Did you know
now,
theoretically the movie Fifth Element takes place in the same universe as Blade Runner?
I believe right now.
Because
Did you know that George Jetson was born in 2022?
I did know that. It sucks.
Wicked depressing.
Thank you, and thank you through you, Mr. Chair. Isn't it also, as you said, the case that they may ask for 10 and get 8?
Yeah, dude,
what happens a lot of
it
times
sucks.
during
It's brutal.
peak season, they will ask for more officers to ensure that they get some. Is that standard?
Through the chair to the council, that's correct. They, out of abundance of caution for public safety threat, they would want to make sure they have people there so the detail would not get canceled.
Right. Well, thank you. Thank you, and I look forward to discussing this further in committee. Thank you.
Thank you. So send that to public safety. Those in favor, opposed, so ordered. Next item is from the Water Department, transmitting information, communication of the report concerning the county political signage and messaging go out to be displayed at the public meetings. Send that to MO. Those in favor, opposed, so ordered. Okay, finance items. 9.35A and B, 9.36A through E, and 9.37A through D. We take those collectively. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
Councilor Agia?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Carlson? Councilor Nguyen?
They're going to fill a detail right now.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I had my hand up.
Okay, I see it, okay.
This is a question. We had
What number?
Mauro Di Pasquale talk to us about the funding, and I believe that this is...
It's not easy. It's not the hardest thing from what I know. Brendan can
They've actually
probably speak to that
streamlined.
more.
Yeah, they've streamlined it a lot. I actually just did my renewal last year. it takes a lot of time, but the time isn't really on the Worcester side. It's a slowdown on the state actually processing the application. But they give you the timeline pretty straightforward now. It'll probably take you 6 months to get it through.
Why is
It's
that?
as long as you have everything in order.
Through the chair.
To be fair, I mean, not fair, but to be honest, like the folks that work in the licensing division are not always the friendliest people in the world. They're literally locked in like a 15 by 15 room that has no windows under fluorescent lights for their entire day.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So I'm not apologizing for them, but they're
The cable.
expect some attitude. But yeah, if you got your shit in order when you go in,
activities
all the
of
paperwork
both
that they ask for and
government
whatnot, and they're checked.
WCCA and
It's just a quick
Education
fingerprint, and they
Channel
call you when it's ready.
pass-throughs, essentially from the.
There's been enough lawsuits out there that
local,
making
cable provider to the city,
sure that
which then distributes those funds to
cities
those
and towns
three
are uniform
purposes, as well as certain
or more
administrative
uniform,
funds
because
related
the way that
to
our
managing
state
the
was
cable
always
program,
structured, it's a
cable,
May issue. It was a May
the,
issue state
basic
based
fact of
on
the matter
local
is that,
licensing
we have
authorities.
less
Places like
subscribers
Worcester
every
did give
year.
people a harder time than normal.
Number of
It's not
subscribers in Worcester
it's not
to
that bad.
Charter Spectrum has been
Well, yeah, you call to make an appointment, then you go
over
in
the
with the
last
paperwork.
5
It's just
years,
they won't give you a hard
down
time
by
until you
about
show up for your appointment and
26%.
you're missing something.
And what we see is that subscription fee, which is a percentage
Oh, the
of
Real
number
ID
of
is so annoying. I
subscribers
have
and
to
the
get it too.
revenues in the city, is going down with that number. So the more people turn from a normal cable
Can't find my Social
subscription,
Security
the lower
card.
those revenues will be, and the less there will be.
They don't print your Social Security number on anything else.
So, through the chair to Mr. McGurthy. So I understand that there's less subscribers, but why is it that there isn't additional dollars that was not negotiated?
Yeah, that was, I mean, even in
this,
Worcester, as recently as Chief Gardella,
WCCA
like you actually had to make a case for getting a,
because,
back then they called it,
you know, for
like an unrestricted, before they went to like Class A and Class B, it was license to carry, and they'd put in a rationale. And like personal protection wasn't like a valid one. Like it had to be like all lawful purposes or for home protection or whatever. You had to have like a really stringent language. But that was back in the late 90s and whatnot when they started changing it over to the A and B, and it kind of covered everything. But
I just don't think that we should
I need it because my shoulder holster feels empty.
the ones bearing the brunt
yeah, I'm walking lopsided. I need to balance out my club foot.
So what is it, through you, Mr. Chairman, to whomever can answer this, what is it that we can do?
Mr. Manager?
Yeah, to the chair, to the council, we cannot negotiate the rates with Charter, and that's where these fees come from, right? And so there's a whole process in terms of what we're negotiating with Channel, and there's a number of things that we're able to negotiate with them, whether it's about the senior discount program, which we know they haven't complied with, and then there's other elements related to the.
One thing I'd recommend too, if you are getting your license to carry, is like if you do have past criminal offenses or arrests or whatever,
their contributions on that.
go and get a printout from the court system showing like how it was disposed of and whatnot. It's to go along with whatever narrative you're writing. It's just a lot easier than putting it on them to do the research and whatnot. They'll actually appreciate it.
You name them, etc. That they're turning their efforts to broadband, and then broadband right now is a big federal.
Yeah, all right, what am I need a gun because knives just ain't cutting it.
Ability for us to contract to be able to get a fee from broadband, only cable, and because people are reducing their uses of cable and broadband, is reducing this fee significantly, and is going to continue. And if people continue to leave,
Talking about the
then that will impact overall
WCCA stuff.
Fund those three channels, which is our local public access, the schools, and Morrow's WCCA TV 13.
And just Morrow.
As it stands right now, currently, what you're saying to me is we don't have any wiggle room here through the chair to the manager.
Did anything happen on the
We do not. On this,
Mel Bergman's two punishment items?
Not yet. They're not there yet.
And
I thought that was in the agenda before this, but whatever.
No, this is 8 something. Those are 10A and 10B.
But do we have the potential?
Oh, yeah. Because Joe Petty has an order on later about
So on broadband here,
charter too.
Does that take the place of what we currently have? The answer is
on broadband is no. There's no ability to negotiate a franchise fee on broadband for us to be able to receive what we get here, the same as cable. What we try to do, in what Mike Hamill, the Chief Information Officer, was here a few weeks back, was discussing the idea of we're working with other providers to come in to build broadband in the city. And then that's when we would be able to try to access, have them connect every municipal building to broadband access, but also have the ability to work with them for digital equity purposes in our community, access to neighborhoods that currently don't have internet.
Eric, you
access,
coward.
et cetera. And so we will work all those elements with the company.
Shrewsbury does municipal
We have no ability to negotiate a contract. It's just a matter of us.
Like if Shrewsbury can do it, we can do it.
To say you want to partner with us in the city, you're seeking.
Shrewsbury's rates are pretty good.
Would you be able to partner and do
It's
X,
the
Y,
biggest
Z?
thing
But
to me
any-
that's so
right now,
like
any broadband
disqualifying
company has
to
the
him,
ability
like
to
about
come
him
into the city
is that he
Yeah.
just bald-faced lie like this about something that everyone wants and would be good.
That's I think I saw it fly by in a comment, but someone brought up Abundance, that book earlier. I mean, that's like the whole crux of their entire argument, right? Is like you look at any other country in the world, and the things that they privatize versus what we privatize are all inversed. So like most normal countries want like municipal cable services or utilities or whatever. We want them all fucking privatized, or power services and whatnot. We want everything, all that privatized. And then the shit that we nationalize is the stuff that everybody else, like the post office, is like most countries have like privatized delivery services because that kind of is more efficient.
No, they will be, and that's something.
It's really kind of
Yeah,
fucked
but-
up how we've focused on all of like the weirdest things to put in the hands of the private sector.
I do think that it's that is one of the few cases where you can say like, well, America's different is with the post office. Like very few places. There are some, but very few places have like the type of sprawl that we do.
Oh, totally. No, yeah. And I mean, that's why it was created, but it was also before like we actually had corporations the way that we do now.
To the manager. I guess that's what Morrow.
Like the
at end
Pony
of
Express
day
kind of
is
predates
saying.
the concept of like large sprawling
Right
corporations.
now, under what he's been told that they would receive, for all intents purposes, I mean, you're.
Like
basically
UPS will go to
shutting them
Antarctica.
down because they're not gonna have enough money to run.
They'll go to a friggin' damn deserted island. Just ask Tom
That
Hanks.
notion that Morrow said, we won't shut them down. It'll still be
Wasn't that
funded.
FedEx?
I think
That was
That's
FedEx.
FedEx.
I was choosing to just brush over that for the joke.
We have to think outside the box and look for other resources to be able to.
Yeah,
operate
well,
and
you're
offset.
on with a couple fact knowers right
This is
now,
the
so
one- This is the only revenue that
that shit's not gonna fly.
he would have to then
Big
look
volleyball
for
guys here.
resources
The
where
fact knowers.
opportunities can continue to offset. And
Dude,
this is also comes into
in the
our
new
own
season of
resources that
Righteous
we have in the
Gemstones,
city
there's such a
that
good
will be impacted.
castaway
People that are
joke.
Right now, managing this meeting, they will also
Fucking,
potentially could be
oh, it's so
impacted
good.
in the long run.
I'm not gonna
And
ruin
that's
it.
something
It's
that we
it's
have
too
to
good.
evaluate.
I love Castaway. That's a great movie.
Our ability to continue to fund those channels on a long-term.
Can you imagine
basis,
that?
And what does that look like?
In the
Right
year
now,
2000, they made
the impact is minimal in
a
comparison to what it could be 10 years from now. and
an
what it was
adult
20
drama starring Tom Hanks,
Right.
where he does not speak for almost an hour of the movie, except to a volleyball.
Is
Yeah.
there
And it
any
was
harm in holding this
fucking
item
massive.
and
Smash
asking
hit.
the administration to
We
come back
used to live
They
in
made
a
that movie-
society.
with those
If they made that movie today, it would be like straight to Netflix slot.
look like shit.
That yeah.
Through the chair.
It would all be at night.
This is authorizing the revolving
Yeah.
loan funds so that the city can accept the funds and then distribute the funds throughout the year.
Zemeckis, man.
So the danger is
He
just
had
timing
it at one
in terms
point.
of our ability to receive and deposit and move those dollars
Yeah.
along.
I'm not.
And he made Here, which is one of the craziest fucking movies I've ever seen in my
I
life.
would ask then for the manager to come back with. a
I've never
report
seen that one.
On some of the
Pretty.
opportunities that
Let me put it this way: it's no black bag.
that may be there going forward for this.
It's no Philadelphia.
Councilor King?
Quick one, Mr. Chairman, just a motion to get an update on previously filed motion That was intended.
What did I
to
watch
serve
recently
the
that I
public
liked? Oh, I watched
on
The
behalf of our
Ghost
seniors,
Writer.
who children had stolen from.
It's a British movie
Recouping those
about
monies. For
the
that
CIA.
vote, as
It's
the
wicked good.
class, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah,
so
who's in that?
It's the guy from Trainspotting, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Ian
we'll
McGregor.
take 9 point.
Still need a roll call?
Yeah, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi from Trainspotting.
I'm gonna do that now. So I'm gonna take 9.35A and B, 9.36A.
Yeah, I'm gonna reel
and
Soderbergh kick.
9.37
I think I'm gonna watch
A
every
on a roll
Steven
call.
Soderbergh movie in a row.
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
What else has he done?
Yes.
Ocean's 11, Sex
Oh,
Lives
yeah.
Videotape.
Ocean's 11, best movie of all time.
Question about
Dude,
but I'm
I love
yes
it so
on
much.
2D. Okay. We're on 9 point.
He's at an insane. I've talked about that on this chat before about directors that can just can go in and out of things.
Okay, I'm good.
He's had an insane roller coaster of a career.
Sorry.
Councilor Carlson? Yes. Councilor Ojeda?
He
Councilor Pasillo?
The Ocean's movies are just so stylish. I watched Ocean's 11
Mayor Petty?
Yes.
like last year. It holds up, man.
You should definitely see Black Bag then, because it feels like a spy Ocean's movie. Sorry, what'd you say?
Cool.
Council. It is the responsibility of the council members to attend all council and committee meetings.
I'll even fuck with Ocean's 8. I think all of them are fucking fantastic. They're super fucking dumb, but they're great movies.
Members of the city council should notify both the chair and the city clerk if there's unable to.
And Kate Blanchett on that Triumph Thruxton at the end of the movie is one of the hottest things that's ever happened in Hollywood.
Report to the city council if the member of the council misses 3 council meetings in person or remotely, with a total of 6 council committee meetings in person or remotely in 1 year without notification. Good cause. Good cause is defined as documented leave based on the city manager's personnel rules and regulations to employees, including family, medical, military leave, and the absence of city council and/or supervision without notification. Good cause is defined as unauthorized leave. 10B, that the rules of the city council and city Worcester are hereby amended by inserting the following Rule 62, unauthorized leave.
We bumped the volume just a little bit.
In the event of an unauthorized council member's salary and benefits, upon motion made by the council member, approved by 2/3 vote of the council, a council member should be subject to leave without pay. The city clerk shall communicate the city council's vote declaring a council member on unauthorized leave without pay to Human Resource Department for appropriate action on salary and benefits. Any such motion made by the city council may also include a provision set forth additional action if the council member continues to violate the attendance requirements of both Rule 64th and 61. Councilman Bergman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So as I recall, and hopefully we all recall, the item that went to the Municipal Legislative Operations Committee, MLO, was a citizen's petition to vacate the seat of an existing city councilor. When I'd asked that that be amended, and ultimately wound up in our committee for a lengthy discussion, approximately 2 hours, of the items, the original citizen's petition and then my amendment to that petition. I will note that at the subcommittee level, there was 0 people in attendance other than the petitioner and the administration staff and the subcommittee itself.
Yeah, because you didn't have it on the agenda.
Was it well advertised?
Any
Right.
questions in person or online. I think that's worth noting. The discussion kind of went in the direction of not vacating a seat because we recognize that would require special legislation and it would require perhaps a charter change, and it would be deemed a punishment as to doing something proactive so that we could encourage people to show up to meetings with a disincentive if they didn't show up. Now, I look at what we do here, and maybe others look at it differently, as taking the place of 200,000+ people who all can't be assembled on any given moment to take a vote on every issue that comes before us. So, Democratic
please,
process,
Mo.
they elect us
Shut up.
to do their business. The system doesn't work when the us doesn't show up, and that's all of us. And the system's also organized in a way that there's an odd number of people on committees and on the council.
There are
so that
3 votes that the
avoids
city
ties
council
when there
takes
are,
a year
votes
that
to be taken.
are
It also
required
requires
for the system to
responsibility of
function.
subcommittee meetings that take place that are organized, by and large, by the chairperson of that subcommittee. So we tried to create some rules that are prospective. They're not punishing anyone retroactively. We couldn't do that legally, and nor did we try to do that. But we did set up rules prospectively. And the city council, through its rules of the city council,
We
has
know
the
you
right
can't
to
do that
do
legally
something.
because we definitely did not
And
try
one of
to
the
do
rules,
that.
10A, that's being proposed
We
to be
asked.
significant.
Yeah, and then we were told we
Yeah.
could not do that legally.
It instructs the clerk to take attendance, which I believe the clerk already does. And when any particular council reaches
Approval of the budget,
council meetings, or 2 or
contract,
6
city
meetings,
manager
including
contract,
council and subcommittee meetings, the clerk would notify us
and
as a body.
tax rate.
Then we go to Rule 10B, or Agenda Item 10B, which will be Rule 62. Then the body must take a vote, but 2/3 of the body has to agree that the leave or the absences were without cause, and the without cause portion follows the leave based on the city of Worcester's personnel rules and regulations for their employees. It would include family medical leave, it would include medical leave, and it would include any military service. Let me just say that the thousands of people that work for the city of Worcester and work for the school department don't get the benefits of what's being proposed here today. When they're out sick, whether they come back with a doctor's note or not, they lose their sick days, they lose their vacation days, and if they go beyond that, they just don't get paid.
I never
We're
understand
not
why
proposing
someone
that.
else's
As far as
job
being here in person, the
has any bearing
Commonwealth of
on what
Massachusetts has extended
another
virtual
person's job
attendance.
is.
We're
Like,
saying is,
talk to your fucking
you can
boss, I
attend
guess. I don't know.
There's something about being in this body that makes you
We should probably
uncomfortable.
unionize those
You
people so they can
attend
get
these meetings
collective
virtually.
bargaining rights.
So I've heard a lot of comments that were made by the public today, and gee, I'd like to know where a lot of the folks where they work, because those are great jobs if where they're working allows them to take off and
They're not employees. You guys aren't employees, remember? You can't fucking follow.
because that's not the reality.
You can't
When
fall
I
under the city
was thinking-
manager's
when we as a committee were thinking
employment
of these
issues
rules, I was
because you're
thinking
not
of the
fucking
people that get up
employees.
early in the morning and late at night. They have to worry about childcare. They have to worry about elderly parents that maybe they're taking care of. They may have to get up extra early because it snowed and iced the night before. They got to clean
What
the
the
cars.
fuck are you
But
talking
they
about,
find
dude?
a way
Shut
to
up.
get to work, and they do that not just because they know they're not going to get paid, but there's a whole element I think that needs to be discussed. They do that because they know people are counting on them. People are counting on them to show up, and the public is counting on all of us to show up. Now, there may have been 30
Two has
people
done more as a
definitely
counselor
tonight.
not showing
I
up
speak
to any meeting ever
hundreds
than
of
you have
people
ever done as a
on
counselor.
weekly basis. I think we all do. On a monthly basis, even more. And the feedback I get from them is that they don't understand how somebody could get paid without making the effort to go to work. And if you add on top of that the option of attending work virtually, then nobody understands why people don't show up unless they're physically unable to do so. And if you're physically unable to do so, the rules here allow you to have excused absences. So at the end of the day, Mr. Chairman, this is a compromise. These aren't rules
You're in your
designed
second 5 minutes.
to somebody to vacate anything. These are rules to encourage people to come. And I hope my colleagues will recognize the fact that the status quo is unacceptable, that there has to be some prospective rules going forward, and that these rules are fair and just and they make sense, and they wouldn't even take effect for another 3 weeks plus if the rules were adopted tonight. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Council Hi-J.
Bill, your heavy breathing is turning me on, and I can't be the only one.
So
Oh,
I haven't
sorry.
been in office as long as my colleagues have been, but I have followed city council for a very long time prior to my election. And in all those years, as someone who has seen different behaviors from former city councilors, some who attended meetings regularly, and particularly one councilor, former Councilor Gaffney, who moved to another state before his term ended. And I remember, particularly at that time, the former Councilor Gaffney left the city, that the city council at the time did not address any of those situations, either his or other council members who weren't attending meetings regularly. It didn't demand
ASMR, I'd
accountability
smoke
from
a
his
butt
members
on my
by
porch,
putting
pissed off.
guardrails in place to ensure that similar situations were addressed through a rightful mechanism. This is just my opinion. That rightful mechanism should be a thorough charter review. things that I've talked about both on the campaign trail as well as on the city council floor. I do believe that these two orders are a form of retribution against Councilor Nguyen. I plan to vote no, and I want to explain why. A few weeks ago, I asked this body to hire a third-party investigator to investigate transphobic slurs and xenophobic comments that Councilor Merrill Carlson is reported to have
Guys,
made
I'm breathing
to multiple
normal.
city hall
It's just I'm
employees
wearing
multiple
these
times.
earbuds that are
The
right
city
next to my
council body
mouth.
was unwilling to do so. And so I fully understand the reasons for Councilor Nguyen's decision to protest in a manner that they have. Now, this is something that I'm sure will be politicized. This conversation here, the vote tonight, but I want to make sure for folks who go that route that none of us here, regardless of our political affiliations, ideologies, regardless of what we think about this issue, are responsible for the actions of other councilors. And Councilor Nguyen's actions and response to their experience on this council do not reflect how I or anyone else serves the public. I can speak for myself as a District 5 councilor. I continue to serve my residents by being in every room throughout the district and city advocating on their behalf, including being here on Tuesday nights. But I'm not a member of the LGBTQ community. And even though I have experienced xenophobic reactions and more that I won't speak publicly, I am not in Councilor Nguyen's shoes. I had a resident of mine 2 days ago, I won't mention their name to protect their privacy, a trans person in District 5, who reached out to me because somebody had thrown, at least more than one time actually, a stone through their window because they had a trans flag. That person is now in a hotel with their parents, and I'm working to put a safety plan and to support them. That's the climate that we trans folks are experiencing right now. And it's against that background and that climate that it feels particularly hard, given that yesterday was just the Trans Day of Visibility as well, that we cannot find ways to support a member of this council, the only BIPOC member of this council who identifies as non-binary and trans, to make sure that their work environment is safe and that we have to dictate what they need to feel safe. So there's been a lot of talk about accountability, right? But accountability is accountability if it's applied equally and fairly across the board. We should have guardrails that address ambiguous part of the charter, including situations like this one. As I've stated previously, I'm 100% in support of a full charter review. Let's put that on the ballot. I would be happy to help. However, I am deeply, deeply uncomfortable voting yes on these rules when former Councilor Gaffney was allowed to abandon his seat, collecting checks from Florida and skipping meetings, while now we're proposing actions against Councilor Nguyen, a BIPOC non-binary member of the City Council who has challenged this body and the system to address discriminatory actions against them. I am uncomfortable further with arbitrarily deciding that 3 meetings is good enough, even though I'm going to run through 4 scenarios that I was thinking through when a doctor's note is not feasible. And I'm disappointed. I know this city solicitor is sick today, but I'm going to ask some rhetorical questions here. If a city councilor is subject to domestic violence, sexual assault, or undergoing mental health challenges, and they want to keep that part of their lives and experience private, they want to keep that between their doctor and themselves and their families, would they be required to provide a doctor's note? Would that counselor's pay be put away because they're uncomfortable talking about why they have to miss meetings? They don't want the world to know. If a city councilor is going through treatments, but they don't want the information to be publicly shared with anyone in the city, would they be penalized? What if a city councilor on separate occasions has different issues? A parent they need to take care of, a child they're only in charge of, they're experiencing hardships they don't want to share with the world. In that case, would their pay be removed? Again, we are told by the city solicitor, I watched that meeting, that we are considered city employees, subject to HR rules and policies. Well, I'm deeply dismayed and uncomfortable on one hand, saying that city councilors aren't city employees for filing a complaint with the Diversity Equity Office or the Human Rights Resources, but we are employees for the purposes of these two rules. By the way, requesting FMLA indicates that I have an employee-employer relationship with the city, and I don't. I was told this by the city solicitor when I asked that question. And so in conclusion, I feel really uncomfortable that this systemic change, which by the way, I'm all in favor of having, is being sought through retribution and subjective arbitrary measures rather than through mechanisms like a charter review, a process which can also lead to other meaningful changes. And lastly, I want to say that there's been a ton of discussion in the community around areas of the charter, ambiguous areas of the charter like this one, that need to be addressed. Taking this issue outside of that framework, it politicizes it. It doesn't do the public service. And because of those reasons, I am very uncomfortable to vote yes on this. And if there is a vote on the floor, I do plan to vote no.
Thank you. All set? We will take them collectively. So, Council Priscilla?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I want to begin by acknowledging what I hear from so many residents, and people are frustrated. They're paying attention to what's happening in the chamber, and they want us to focus on what we were elected to do. And that's solve problems, pass policy, fix potholes, improve quality of life, whatever it is. They want to see their elected leaders show up, do the work, and take this role seriously. And I agree accountability matters where public service and this work matters. And I understand the intention behind this rule change. And like Councilor Bergman, I do hear from residents with concerns about attendance. However, I also have serious concerns about how this is being handled. Like, I come in here every Tuesday. Any personal feelings, anything I feel, I really genuinely try to leave it at the door and just be fair and look at what the most fair, best practice thing to do is. So when a rule change appears to be in direct response to a specific person or event, it's punitive, even if it is procedurally justified. And when we start using council rules to police each other instead of focusing on governance, I worry that we're moving away from the kind of public service residents expect and deserve. It was very difficult to find attendance requirements in other municipalities across the state. I obviously took a deep dive. Dedham's Town Charter requires all town officers to attend town meeting sessions, and the town of Hudson has relatively strong language about their charter, expecting elected officials to attend all town meeting sessions as well. But there are no attendance requirements in the state. And furthermore, there is no mention of docking pay, which is, I don't feel super comfortable with that. We don't restore trust by creating policies that can be weaponized, and we don't
Yeah,
monitor
she sounds like
governance
a
by adopting disciplinary
like a
processes
no to me.
that aren't rooted in
So
fairness,
this doesn't
structure, or
pass.
best practice. I'm not opposed to accountability, and I am sorry that I missed that MLO meeting, and I wish I had gone. I like to talk about the rules, and I would love to take the time and look at the rules, and to echo Councilor Hajai, look at the charter. The charter is outdated. We say this month after month. This always comes up on the floor. I felt the same way about the recall petition. I wasn't against it. I just feel as though if we are picking things out week after week, it doesn't make sense to me. Why aren't we reviewing the charter? And agree, this is gonna be politicized, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of heat for voting against it. But again, I don't think this is the fair thing to do. If we wanna add an amendment that says we're gonna have a conversation about the rules and everything would start January 1st, I wouldn't have a problem with that. We should be held accountable. We should be held accountable for a lot of different things. And I know, we always say you're gonna be held accountable at the ballot box, and I agree, and I don't wanna go down a rabbit hole of a 2-year part-time position. It is hard to do a recall. So maybe, the rules would be a good thing to do, but I just don't understand why this has to be done in less than a week. If it's, I don't see what the rush is. There are 9 months left in this term. It just doesn't seem fair to me to change the rules. And I know we have every right to, that's fine. Just for me, it's not, I don't feel comfortable with it. And I do have a question, and it is unfortunate, I'm sorry that the city solicitor is sick, but under state law, we can't increase or reduce our compensation as counselors during our term. So wouldn't docking pay fall under this state law would be a question I would like an answer to. But yes, thank you.
Oh, sorry, Mo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So yeah, not that I'm.
Louis got to be a no on this.
I did say when we were meeting last week during MLO that I had wished, others were in attendance. There was only one person. The person that put the petition forward was there. But I do agree, we must work together as a collective body on this item. Yes, this item we've seen this before on council, obviously before I was to council, but
They need
this
8
has happened
votes.
before. And now we're in a situation where
Louis would be
although
the
it may not
7th.
be similar, if people may see it that way, but we are here now, and we're dealing with the same idea of someone not being here. And we are all in agreement that, when it comes to a charter review, that's something that we need to look at. During our committee meeting, Councilor Bergman, correct me if I'm wrong, we did say that, when we get here tonight, if the council does not agree, we're willing to take it back to committee and hopefully get back to the drawing board. But, going back to committee, me and I believe others, it'd be great for us to be able to go to that meeting and have everybody there, as many councilors there as possible, so we can have a real conversation regarding this, not something that's just looking like we're going back and forth against each other, especially tonight. And not that we are. Everybody's expressing their feelings and how they, the ideas regarding this, and I appreciate it. I respect it a lot. But I think for us as a collective body, on a topic that's that's important, I think we need to be able to, find a way to bring it back to committee and go forward. I did say that, whatever way, we would like to go as a committee, as a collective body, I want to support that. But I'm hoping that, we can bring it back to our committee and to be able to talk together as a collective body. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Councilor King?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Have a number of thoughts on this. I will concur with my colleagues who have stated that a number of folks have spoken to us about, and let's be clear, Tu Nguyen's absence at council. That's what this is about. It's not about anything else. Any assertion to the contrary is false. We know exactly what this is. And so I too would love to have Tu's voice here and vote as well. This council has been served notice by the councilor that there are concerns of bigotry and discrimination at play. I'm extremely concerned that if we take such a vote and we take an action against someone who has asserted that that's the case, that it would be a rush to judgment, Mr. Chairman, without a conclusion, without resolution. That requires a deeper dive. I cannot vote this as it's currently written. For me, it's always been the people that decide. It's been the people that decide as it comes to city councilors. It's always been the voters that have the final say pertaining to what a councilor does or does not do. This needs a deeper dive. For me to vote this would fail the mirror test, Mr. Chairman. It would fail the mirror test for me. What went to committee?
What the heck is a mirror test?
When you say Bloody Mary 3 times and she shows up.
As relates to
Yeah,
the
she does
process
actually.
to be initiated potentially for a home rule petition that would create a recall process for the voter, the ultimate decision maker in our regards. I was never elected to police my fellow elected officials, Mr. Chairman, in this sort of a way. I do not support taking that decision regarding essentially disciplining a fellow colleague out of the hands of that ultimate decision maker in this city. And that's the voters, Mr. Chairman.
God.
I've done my research as well. And I have not been able to find any body, municipal body in this Commonwealth and elsewhere, that has the language of this specific measure. There's a lot of unanswered questions. Where does this information go? Where is it held? Where is it filed? About the access to it. I was concerned about the recall process being used as a political cudgel. This, again, is a concern. This body has the right, as has been in other places, to call for censure of colleagues, it has the right to call for a colleague to resign. That's happened in other municipalities and other places. We don't have the authority to assert any dominance or privilege over that council member. And that's what this does, Mr. Chairman. I'll echo what Councilor Priscilla referenced. Massachusetts general law requires that if we're going to change payment or alter payment of a counselor, that can't happen in that same term. Can't happen in that same term. Now, whether that applies or not might be debatable, but that's what the law says, Mr. Chairman. Through the chair to the administration, can you share whether or not Councilor Nguyen has met with you during this time and has participated in the budgetary process?
Mr. Manager?
Through the chair to the councilor, yes, Councilor Nguyen has met with me on our one-on-ones and also attended our most recent budget debrief.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know the extent or the to which my colleagues do their work. They don't know the extent to which I do my work. This isn't any different. Yes, I agree. I try to make every single vote that I can make. That's why we took a recess tonight, Mr. Chairman. I don't want to miss a vote. I attend as much as I possibly can. And in a part-time position, we have some balancing to do with family and with other obligations and self-care. Again, municipal salary increases and decrease procedures are established in Massachusetts general law, and they are to take effect. They cannot take effect in the year in which that is voted. And to be quite frank, I would need a legal opinion on that as well. Mr. Chairman, I need to make this very clear.
You're in your second 5.
Thank you. I am not elected to discipline my fellow colleagues. Again, and I'm going to reiterate, that's always been for the people to decide. That's not what came out of committee. I watched that meeting. Chairman shelved it because it wasn't quick enough to impact the councilor we're referencing. Mr. Chairman, we have no legal counsel at this time regarding potential impact, as I stated. If we, and I'm going to use the word discipline, I don't know what withhold means. I don't know if that means someone would get back pay at some point. It's really ambiguous. It's a lot of things that are not tied down. We don't know. And to vote on something we don't know falls short. For the public that wants us to work together and wants us to show up, I've done everything in my effort to make sure that we can do that. And that passes the mirror test. I hope that everyone here can pass the mirror test when it comes to every single member of this committee, Mr. Chairman. I cannot, in good conscience, have further consideration. Again, a rush to judgment without conclusion and resolution is not the answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Bergman for a second time.
I think I have about 4 minutes left, Mr. Chairman. I won't take all of that. I just want to be clear that that there's no rush to judgment here. This is if this were to take place by a vote today.
Shut up.
I'm sorry, I'm speaking.
Please, direct you.
If this were to take a vote by vote today, it would take, we'd have to come back next week, and then it would be 2 weeks before any of these provisions would
Shit,
kick
nobody
in.
heard me.
That's
We're sorry
almost
you're
a
speaking too, Mo.
Mr. Chairman. And that doesn't include the fact there's a school vacation week in between. So that's 5 weeks. Let me also say that the medical excuse, so to speak, or good cause happens in every workplace. So these issues of privacy and concern, so on and so forth, they're overcome in every other workplace. They would be overcome here by the same rules that human resources would have. Let me also say that I don't know what goes on in any of our minds as far as whether or not we show up or don't show up for any particular reason. And I've intentionally designed these two orders to be prospective. There's no retroactive punishment for anyone. Anybody could show up next week, the week after, or the week after school vacation week, which is 5 weeks in total for now. If they choose not to, then there has to be some resolution to that. You know, I could tell everybody here that I was here when Councilor Gaffney's issue came up. He had 3 months left on his term, not 9 months. There was a movement, myself included, to try to address that. It never happened. But I wasn't chair of MO at the time, and I didn't have a citizen's petition in front of me to take action. So I somehow resent the fact that this was designed to somehow hurt one particular counselor. I accept the fact that many people here feel that
You fucking liar.
making this decision. I'm not at all. And I'd also say that what I said at the Municipal Operations Subcommittee meeting, and those that weren't there that listened heard, is I said that we may have to take this back to the subcommittee. I hope we don't, because I said at that time that the charter review and the special legislation will take probably a full year to get to this issue. And this issue should be resolved not in a year or not in 9 months, but it should resolve
Why?
as soon as possible.
If it's not
because
about two,
otherwise
then why?
we're setting a terrible example for all the people that work for this city and work for the school department through the city and work for DPW and every other department, because what we're telling them is we treat ourselves better than you're being treated, because we don't even punish people or try to incentivize people in any manner whatsoever.
Oh, I thought this
when
wasn't
they
about
don't show
punishment.
up for.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't do it. So therefore, go ahead and don't show up. And I think that's a terrible, terrible message to send. Again, people show up in all sorts of difficult situations, and if they don't like the comfort of City Hall, if they're concerned about safety or concerned about the environment, they can turn on their computer and participate at home. This was designed to be prospective. There was nobody on that subcommittee that's ever been accused of making any remarks that were against the counselor in question. There was also a
So again,
lengthy
this is about
conversation,
two.
and there was
Yeah, you
the
just brought it
original
up,
petition
dingus.
was to vacate the seat, and this was a compromise to try to get everybody to show up and provide an incentive or disincentive if somebody doesn't show up. So the whole notion of retribution, I'm sorry.
You just said it was,
it's the
though,
last
Dick.
resort. Retribution and prejudice are the last argument somebody can make when the facts are working against them. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Chairman.
Okay, Ben Shapiro.
Councilor King, you have a couple of minutes left, I
Okay,
believe.
just a quick motion, Mr. Chairman. Looking forward to voting this. It's just like a motion that we get a report back on elected bodies in the Commonwealth that are held to the same standards.
There's zero. Jenny's right.
HR standards as
There are.
city employees. I would like that for future reference after we take the vote. Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Russell?
Mr. Chairman, a few weeks ago, I stood on this council floor and I said something to the effect of, can we all agree that we all have to just show up for work? And I guess the answer to that tonight is, no, we can't agree. We can't agree. And, Mr. Chairman, you know, I've heard a lot about over the last few weeks about hate. And, you know, hate from the right and hate from the left is still hate. And it's no place in this chamber, no place in the city as far as I'm concerned.
What?
And I'll do my best to fight that no matter what.
No, you
But this item,
won't.
Mr. Chairman,
You just showed
as
us
far
over
as
the
I
past
can
couple of
see,
months that you
is an
just
item
don't
that
care.
might not be perfect. I wish the law department was represented tonight so that we could ask more questions about some of the items, but.
So hold the fucking
I'm ready
thing.
to
So then
support
hold it,
because I
you
think that
fucking
We have to send a
dillwad.
message to the taxpayers of the city that we are protecting their tax dollars.
You have
And
to
I'll
send
just
a
leave it at that.
message?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank
You're
you.
going to lose.
Can we take these collectively? You need 8 votes to pass this, so everybody know that. So 10A, 10B, take that collectively.
I love when Joe tries to
Roll.
telegraph it. So
Councilor Bergman?
hoping somebody
Yes.
will hold it at the last
Councilor Florio?
second.
Yes.
Councilor G.I.?
No.
Councilor King?
No.
Councilor Carlson? Yes. Councilor Nguyen? Councilor Ojeda?
No.
Councilor Basillo?
No.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
Yes. So that motion fails.
Motion to reconsider.
Motion to reconsider. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman?
No.
Councilor Caloria?
No.
Councilor G.I.?
No.
Councilor King?
No.
Councilor Carlson? No. Councilor Nguyen? Councilor Ojeda?
No.
Councilor Basillo?
Still no understanding of
Councilor
this
Russell?
exercise.
Councilor Toomey?
No.
And Mayor Petty?
No. Okay, we are on 10C to 10R. Motion is to adopt. All those in favor, opposed, so
Oh
ordered.
my God. What a fucking waste of
We
time.
have
Thanks, Mo.
orders.
Thanks, Mo. That was great.
I can't even see these.
All right, I'm dumb. What happens with that now?
Request city manager requests Commissioner
Just
of Public Works and
goes-
Parks provide
goes
council
away.
with a report.
Goes
concerning various
bye-bye.
ways the residents owning property along. the
They can't
private
bring it up
portion
now
of
for
Wildwood
what?
Ave Can address concerns over the
90
rapidly
days?
deteriorating conditions of the roads. Every report should include information concerning
Yeah,
the amount
90
of
days.
Yeah.
required to complete.
But they never-
various
it never
forms
comes
of work on
back.
the road.
No.
Where the residents of the public portion of the road or having to drive through the private portion to reach their homes should make the road eligible to pothole repairs and/or road resurfacing. If the road became public with a duplex was allowed to be built on the road and any additional options available to address the road's deteriorating condition, it cannot be made public due to some residents being opposed to such a conversion. Councilor Hyde.
As it reads, and would love to work with the city manager on this.
Sure. There's a report that came out from Bob Moylan before he left on Wildwood, on the whole idea of trying to repair these roads. So it came out maybe a month ago.
I'd like to sign on to this, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, send that to the manager.
I'd like to sign on,
As
Mr.
amended.
Chairman.
Yep.
Yep.
All those in favor, opposed, so ordered. Request manager to provide council with a report concerning the number of traffic stops that have occurred due to the implementation of the citywide 25 miles per hour speed regulation. Said report should include information related to the number of traffic stops that have occurred in each city council district, as well as each major arterial road in the city. Further request report detail any revenue generated from said speed regulation. Council Member Carlson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gio, I've been
There's lots
trying
of
to explain it to her,
discussion
but
At all of the neighborhood meetings over the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit, and there's been several, like, for example, on Shrewsbury Street, the last couple of months, there's been in the vicinity of 122 stops, and then
Chris
just
Moe ate
last
shit.
month, there was 131, as well as on Belmont Street and Lincoln Street. And the neighborhood folks are now asking, what does this look like with the 25-mile-an-hour speed? And I think that certainly WPD has been doing a great job, number one. Number two is, obviously, there's signage that needs to be changed, but working with DTM, that's happening. But there seems to be some confusion around when tickets are written, where does those revenues go? So through you,
Goodbye,
Mr.
Zamboni.
Chairman, to the city manager, if he wants to comment on that, or if you'd rather give a report, that's fine too.
All right, Mr. Manager?
Yeah, through the chair to the councilor. The revenues that are, the revenues from these tickets come to the city's general fund. We budget for that. We look at trends, and then we set a budget for that. The FY25 budget was roughly about $300,000. And that's
No, I
depending
mean,
on, again, the trends that we see.
everybody
based
has
on the
like
revenue that
their
we see
agenda,
from
and
the tickets.
she's
So,
not just not going to
Mr.
answer
Chairman,
me.
through you to the city
Try
manager,
and answer
this
me back a
year
couple
here,
times
given
with
the fact that
I
we
think
reduced
incorrect
the,
readings of the situation, and
speed to
now she's
25
moved on to fighting
miles
with
an
Jack
hour,
because
and
that's an easier
we have
target because Jack
enforcement
is
out
terrible
there,
at this.
and certainly have bought some new equipment for the enforcement. Have we increased that number this year, given
Wait,
all
where's
of
this
those
happening? On the
public safety
Facebook?
things that we're doing?
Yeah.
To the chair, to the council, right now,
I'm gonna
actuals, I
hop
don't
in.
have that number. We will have better understanding of the
Yeah,
actual
get in there.
receipts of these tickets when it comes more so when we close out the year. We'll have a better understanding. But we can, if you want, we can come back with a report to give you current, as of date, actuals receipts relative to this account.
That would be great. And Mr. Chairman,
Oh, that was B, Gio.
11B and 11E really should have been taken together, because I just spoke on both.
Okay.
All right.
So take 11C, I mean.
There's somebody
11B,
posting a
some of both
modified
C and
R
A.
slur.
Right.
Okay. Motion to send the both to city manager, 11B and C.
So I reported
C.
as terrorism
B as in boy.
because that's the funniest one to pick.
All in favor, opposed, so
So I usually
ordered.
pick
We're
when
on
I report someone's
11D.
comments.
Request city manager, request chief human resource officer work with any relevant city departments to create volunteer opportunities for seniors who are eligible for the senior tax work-off program. Said opportunities should
Oh,
include
Jack,
providing
Jack,
support
Jack,
for
Jack,
election
Jack.
operations,
It's
with the senior center
just
program,
so,
and any other
like,
relevant support to the city
Oh boy.
departments.
Oh man,
Councilman
it's a real
Yes,
dumpster
Mr.
fire
Chairman.
over there on
As
over there
we
on
all know,
Facebook.
we
Just,
passed the senior tax work-off program, and currently there are
You just-
four
when it
individuals
comes
who have
to certain
applied
things,
for the senior
Right.
work-off program,
you
which
just
gives
cannot
them,
argue. You cannot argue with a woman.
$2,000
I'm
off
sorry.
of their yearly.
He
does
just has
not
no
look
couth. He has
So
no like
currently,
fucking couth at all.
Items that we came up with.
We're
that
we're
we
we're looking
could
at
get
the
some more
argument happening
folks
on the
involved
city's Facebook
is
stream.
Working through the clerk's office.
My eyes
and
don't
the
work that good. Can you,
clerk,
someone
as we all know,
transcribe for
is
me?
always looking for people
Essentially-
during election time, and
essentially,
there's a tremendous amount
Jack
of
just
our
lobbed
seniors
a
who work
a
during,
fucking bunker buster right off the
election
bat and
time,
was like, "You're just
so they
bitter
could have
because
the
you lost your
opportunity
council
to
race."
use those
It's
hours
like,
to get that,
isn't really an argument. It's just an
$2,000 off
attack.
their tax bill. So I was
And
hoping
then
that
yeah, they're just
that
going
was
back and forth
something that
now
we
about
could
who is
have
more
the
butthurt. Essentially,
administration work with the clerk's office, because the amount of folks that we this past year said that we were looking to do was 20.
yes, Chris. Yep.
So we basically right now need 16
Jo-
additional
Joanna just threatened Jack with
individuals,
violence,
would
which I think is
certainly
awesome.
love to
Yeah,
see
cool.
this program expanded.
Because Jack was taking it
Because
way
quite
over the
frankly,
line, talking
a
about.
lot of our seniors don't
I mean, we all know it was in bad
participate, whether
faith,
it's in
but
this
when
program
Johanna tried
or
to
whether
get
it's
Christian
in the
on giving her
senior
too hard of a
abatement
handshake
program.
and
I think a
calling
lot
it
of
assault,
that has to do with education. Certainly,
Jack
a lot of people don't know
made a
it.
joke
So I
about
was
that.
hoping that we could do this, and this would be a start to get us
dude, Jack,
to the 20
Jack,
individuals who could
all right,
certainly
time
use
out.
the tax break. Thank you.
Jesus fucking Christ,
Senator
Jack.
manager, all those in favor, opposed, so ordered. Next,
Jack.
request the manager, request the chief development officer work with the owner of the property, the former site of Price Drop on Cambridge Street, to block the property's
How do you
parking lot
get? Here
entrance.
we go. How do you
Third,
get somebody
request the
time
manager,
out?
request the
I
chief
can't
development
even-
officer provide city
I can't
council
even
with
do
an
it,
update
dude.
concerning any conversations happening with the property owner regarding future use.
And this is why we can't
Councilor
have a
Bergman,
nice
I know
pro
here.
bullying motto.
Those in favor,
Right.
opposed, so ordered. Request the city manager work with the appropriate representatives from the Eversource to provide city council the report outlining the number
But
of
anyway,
grade
so the
1,
way
2,
that
and
it
3 gas
ends,
leaks that have
Joanna
occurred
goes,
in the city
at
over
the
the
next
past few years,
political
including how many
event,
have been repaired, and how many have
ready
not.
to give you
Further
a big
requested
hug.
report including a map detailing the locations of said
Which,
gas leaks throughout the city, the amount of gas that has leaked out, and the equivalent of leaked gas in dollars. Councilor
Don't
IGI?
just check. Don't go around saying.
A few years ago, a group of
don't
mothers,
put-
volunteer moms from the community worked really hard to get 5 gas leaks.
Has no
around,
one ever smacked him in
some
the
of
face?
schools
Like, is that
and
just
parks?
what
some
has
of the
never
ones
happened?
That were and the
You know that's
daycare
never
that
happened.
were ranging from
I mean,
grade 1,
God
2,
damn.
and 3. Recently, we've had a lot of discussion around.
You can disagree with somebody, you can think they're wrong, but you don't have to go to a fucking
There
like
is
0 to
a
100 every fucking
fear
time. It just
and
makes you look
anxiety
like a
out there
punk.
amongst our residents when they see particularly
Yeah,
And you only,
working
you know what the
on
thing is, he
gas
only ever does it
leaks
with women
that we
too.
have very little
Right, that's what I was trying to
information
say
on what
earlier.
grade
Yes.
they are.
It
Grade
just-
1 is the most dangerous,
it's
grade 2.
always the de facto bad look.
It denotes the amount, the radius that the gas leak is escaping, and grade 3 are less serious. I would like to know and receive a detailed report from
Just
the
don't get into internet
company,
fights.
from Eversource. In the last 5 years, how many of these gas leaks, grade 1, 2, and 3, they have addressed, how many
right.
they have not, and what is the quantity
Worcestery
in dollars
Council
that our
Theatre.
taxpayers and residents have been paying for gas that continues
Never
to
mind.
escape,
I'm not gonna say anything
damaging
about
our
this.
health and
Because I think
our
Johanna's
pocketbooks,
like intellectually
that
in the
we,
wrong here,
the
but
Worcester
now
residents
like I have
are
to.
paying for. If this report
talk about
comes
how
back, I would love to invite.
she's wrong, but also
with
Jack
the
is,
chairs.
and
Councilor
I think I
Bergman,
covered it
permission,
in my
we could have a
comment.
discussion on public health.
Yeah.
For the
where
record, I
we've
think
had
Jack
this
Murray is
discussion
being
5
stupid
years
and
ago.
uncool.
If that's something that
Oh,
we
there we
would,
go.
I think that gives us all the room we need.
All right, cool.
Yeah, most definitely.
What's that? Councilor Toomey?
Yes, Ben, she
Thank
did.
you, Mr. Chair. I guess separate but a similar issue. Today, there was a massive gas leak in the Burncoat area near Warwick.
Bryan?
John, send it to us.
I guess blocked
Yeah.
traffic.
What's up, Brandon?
Off 290.
Okay, was just talking about the massive gas
If we
leak
could
up
get
in
a
the Burncoat
report
area.
on
I
the
was
impact of
curious
that.
if you had any knowledge of what that was going on over there.
Yeah, with the Taco John's, what are you gonna do?
I had a massive gas leak in the
Both,
Berkeley area
Council Toomey is okay.
earlier
both
today.
goes to public health.
Like I had to bend over for
Send
it.
to public health, want that? Those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
Don't you hate when you're listening to something on the radio and you try and rewind it? now?
Request the manager, request the Commissioner of Public Works and Parks.
Podcasts are
work with
really
all
fucking
residents to
ruined.
pay for their recycling containers.
Listening
with a
to
credit
things
card. Councilor
for me.
Toomey?
You get one shot.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman.
At the
considering
movies,
the
I
fact
forget to
that,
listen to
this is
sometimes.
2025.
This is taking
I
me
think
so
that,
long.
I'd like to amend this to include, in addition.
Can
to
we
any
work the
other city
bandolier in?
services,
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Okay,
It's just
we're gonna
taking
get
me
there.
so much longer than I
don't
thought
have
it would be.
cash, They don't have checks. Most people.
And some other
are
douchebag has
using
done it, so now I
debit
want to
cards
outdo
or
them.
Credit cards online, and it just seems that we're already paying for the credit card services, and so we should be allowing that usage throughout the city departments. Thank you.
Okay, send to the manager. All those in favor, opposed, so ordered. Request the manager, request the Commissioner of Transportation, request the city manager develop an ordinance that stops any utility or construction company from starting or applying for permits to dig new trenches in public streets until they have completed repairs on recent work elsewhere in the city streets. Councilor Russell?
Mr. Chairman, through you to the manager, are we short inspectors on the Public Works Department for these kinds of services for trenches? Do you know?
Mr.
Or
Manager?
If you don't know, we can get a report. But
Right, Gio, and I know you're not saying this, but obviously you still have you still do the thing without being what Jack is
Chairman, the
being,
reason why I
which
put
is
this item on
a misogynist
stems,
little
from
chud.
an ongoing frustration,
But I also think
that
that
I've
it's
had and my colleagues have had
often
about
worth
the
still
condition of our
having
roads.
the argument on the
Many
merits
of the
of the
problems with our
argument
roads go
because
with,
of the other people that are
utility
maybe
connections
watching.
from- not only for the
It's not
gas
necessarily. I'm
company,
not necessarily
cable company, et cetera,
thinking that I'm going to
but
change
also
Johanna's
from
mind.
our own city
I do think
departments,
maybe it's possible.
doing
I don't
water,
think
sewer
I don't
connections,
think
our own,
Johanna's a
private
disingenuous
contractors
person.
that are
I've
permitted
enjoyed
by our
knowing them
Public
for a long
Works,
time.
committee. They get licensed
I don't think
to
that
go
they're,
around
you
the
know,
city. And
right.
we had so many
But
potholes and bumps on
I,
Maxwell
but
Road
I'm not confident
I'm
that
sure the
she'll
manager hits
change
on
her
his way
mind
home
about
every
this.
night.
But it is important
But
still
it's
to
just
show
getting out of
anyone
control.
else that's watching
And I
or
chased
reading
one down
that
specifically and I found out that it was
there's
a contractor.
another side to this. I
Contractor
mean,
that let it sit
there was
that didn't address it.
70 people
And I
in
had to go multiple
watching that
times to
stream
the-
all
to the
night.
311 staff and the Public Works management.
I think it's important to still say
But then it made me think,
plainly what
why are we still,
you know
why aren't we staying on top
that this
of it
isn't just about
as a city? And
if
why
you don't
aren't
work, you
we
don't get paid.
going
Like there
and
are other
saying to
factors here
the permitting
that people
officers,
are
hey,
purposely
you got trenches that need
skipping
something
over.
all over the city. Let's address those first before we give you
So,
permits to go
you know,
open up
I
the
don't-
street,
I don't-
other streets nearby. So
I don't think
yeah,
it's
that's my train
worth
of thought. I
just
know it's
ignoring.
It's a lift. It's not an easy one.
Everyone
because
concerned
contractors are all in
with,
a hurry to start
showing
digging
up to
so they
work
can get their next
vis-a-vis
deposit on their
the
next-
Worcester City
next project.
Council
But the
has
reality
never
is
thought
that-
about
this is
what a
one,
counselor
if you
does as
pull
work
back
before
on
even
their
once.
ability
One,
to
big
get into
time.
the-
Two,
to start
everyone
work,
that's saying that,
you're
I said it
gonna,
in the
have
comments
less
in
issues
there
with the
earlier.
trenches
Every
next-
single person
ne-
that's saying
next
that at their own workplace has policies in place
Councilor Sewell?
that offer recourse in the cases
Thank you,
of
Mr.
hostile
Chair,
work
and thank you,
environment
Councilor Russell,
or
for putting this
discrimination.
on. I'd love
They
to
would have
sign on for
recourse
this.
again to make a complaint against
I
somebody.
would love to know
Two
how
does not
many
have that.
inspectors
So
go out
you
and
can't say
check
that this is just
the
like
work that's
everyone
being
else that goes
done.
to
And
work
I
because
recall a
it's not
Public
just like
Works
everyone else that
meeting
goes to work.
last spring with councilors
Yep.
Merrill, Carlson, and Russell, where the private utility
Yeah, Gio. And the
companies
thing
told
is, he
us
also
they
started
committed
Snippy
to either, was it 2 or
pretty
5
quickly.
years,
So
to
it's
come
like
back
that
and fix
also,
all
you know,
the
I understand
patches
things
that
get
sink
heated
in.
eventually.
When I
Um,
drive
but-
down Salisbury Street, you think you're
That
the
happened
manager's
naturally, though.
office, they
Yeah,
fixed the
0 to
potholes,
100.
but the entire patch job was sinking in. On Quinnipoxet, the patchwork is sinking in. And I don't understand why it is so difficult to get the private utilities to come back and do the job right. And it's incredibly frustrating.
This
So
is
I would
design
love
I
to
have to
sign
beat.
on to this. Thank you.
Okay, Councilor
Crap.
Sewell?
You can beat
So
that.
much.
You can absolutely.
Thank
I
you,
gotta do
Mr.
better.
Chair.
Also, ours should be Woo
Some payment for repairs come from
CCE.
insurance?
Yeah, I think
Of
it should keep
course.
the Buckies the
Is
same,
that a possibility?
but just Woo.
Isn't that a?
For the pavers?
That's not a
for the-
term, is
There was
it?
an accident, that was.
What's
there was,
that?
I don't wanna
an
say it
accident
now,
that
just in
created
case.
the
I'm gonna
loosening and
just Google it
dislocating of the
myself.
pavers As a result of car-involved accident.
Yeah.
Shouldn't
A
that
wook?
Insurance company?
Yeah, that's not
Yeah,
a
it's-
derogatory term, is it?
Yeah, for like
Disturbing
a
Pay
nerd,
for-
like an internet
Oh.
nerd, right?
Okay.
Okay, get a report on that?
A what? A
Why is
what?
Candy hitting Kate?
What?
Is that a question?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's something I think
Kate's
we
drunk.
should take a look at.
Okay, it's a comment.
Thank
Okay.
you.
No, thank you. Okay, we will send that to the city manager. Those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
Oh, no, it's like
Sammy requests the commission
Work
to
is- yeah,
increase
work is a
mobility
dirty
accessibility
hippie.
and
Work is
repair
like
the
the-
roundabout of the intersection of
The crust
Street,
punk
Maywood
of
Street,
hippies
Freeland
is
Street.
a work.
Yes.
Sally, I'll be going to Bucky's on
People
Thursday
will
night,
have to loosen
Friday,
the-
Saturday, and
taking
again
on several
Sunday afternoon.
pavers
If there's anything
as a
you in
result of
particular
the
you're
car
looking for.
involved.
Oh, actually, are you flying or
Those in favor,
driving?
opposed, so ordered.
Flying
City
into
manager
Houston, then
contact
driving
the
from Houston to College
representatives
Station.
from Child
there
Communications
are
Would you be willing to
announced
bring me
two
back
Buc-ee's
some
on
of
that
that,
route.
in Worcester, which will
that
lead to
Bohemian
anticipated
garlic
174
jerky?
employees
Oh, yeah,
being
see what I
laid
can do,
off
man.
By June 26th.
Don't worry about it if you
in an
can't.
effort to,
There's
address
actually
allegations
it's
from
kind of cool.
employees.
There's an airport directly across the street from the main entrance to IAH in Houston, and it's basically just a small post office that's there for you to mail all your contraband home.
Sick.
So yeah, I'll be happy to mail that home to you. do. I stop every time before I leave, just like mailing things that are not TSA approved.
Hell yeah.
My
For the
favorite
public
definition of
purposes,
wook
so
is
that the
a
public's
pile of
aware, the
drugs and
mayor's
dirt
relinquishing
mixed
the
together that has
chair
grown
under Rule
sentient.
15 for purpose of expression. If the mayor wishes to express an opinion on any subject under debate, he shall relinquish the chair to the vice chair and address the council.
Yeah, that's a good
from the
point,
floor.
Main South Mom.
Mayor Petty.
I
the rule
still
also
maintain
states
that two actually
the rules
has
from
done
the
more
chair
work
down.
by taking the
Okay,
stand of not
so,
going to council meetings than they would have
just thought
done
this was
by
important to put
going.
on the city council agenda.
Which is
174
probably
people,
why
up to
they're so
174 people lose
upset
their
about
jobs,
it and so
try to communicate
insistent
things.
on
And I know
defining
we
what
built-
council
I
work
can't remember,
is.
if, Mr. Manager, if there was an agreement.
That's always been Two's
or any type
main
of
thing is
benefit
offering
given
a completely
when
different
we, put that,
definition of what a
into place.
city councilor is
I just don't
and
remember.
should be
I
doing.
don't think you would know either, but. I
Which
know
is
there's a deal
what
cut
people
somewhere
voted for.
On that, but it was important, 174 jobs.
So it's rich
I'm
now
sure
to
it's
hear-
going, they're saying it's going to one of the
fucking
Carolinas or to Tennessee or somewhere, and who knows, probably even out of the country.
Christian reading
But
the
it's a big,
rules for the mayor was very funny.
And it's not the first time that Charlie has not lived up to my perspective, to commit to the city of Worcester. I know it was mentioned tonight, we've mentioned it before. When it comes to senior discount, I know your negotiations, Mr. Manager, that they just took the money away from, as Council King had mentioned, from the seniors, that they should have been given to them. And I know we brought that up before and should be mentioned again. So I just feel that this is happening, that they're going to lay off all these people and bring those jobs elsewhere outside and offer their jobs. How many people are really going to move from the city of Worcester to North and South Carolina? I think there was another state that was mentioned also. So I'm just curious, Mr. Manager, maybe in the form of the report, we can get, maybe we can meet with them and maybe how I can mitigate some of these losses. Look at the law department investigating report back. On
Yeah, we
the
could
auditors
start a
guiding
municipal
this.
broadband company that
And
would employ a
also-
lot more than 174 people.
And part of this,
Yeah, all those people would have jobs like manana.
there are
Yeah,
two
and they'd have
properties there. One
pensions.
is owned by Charter, which I think is where the call center is. Then they lease a property over on the Higgins somewhere.
It's still the most ridiculous,
My facts are right.
like disqualifying
And
is the
now, how
perfect
is that
word
gonna be
you used
impacted?
earlier,
You
Brian.
know, are you gonna close down, sell the
When
building?
the city manager went on the
So
radio
maybe
and they
we
were
get a
like,
report on
look
that.
at Chattanooga,
Can
Tennessee.
come
They
in,
lost so
maybe we
much
can just
money.
Meet with them if we can, Mr.
And
Manager.
they
I think this
have
is an
turned a
important
profit.
issue, so,
Like,
just
Yeah. Not only that, even if they lost money,
Councilor Merrill
like the
Carlson,
people
District
would
2.
have gained money. You know?
right, like it could be something that
Thank
loses a
you,
little
Mayor
bit of
Petty,
money
for putting
for the
this
public
on.
good.
Yeah.
Just
That's
a-
$60 in every
two
household or whatever. Yeah.
suggestions to
It's like when
the-
people are like, I don't want universal health care.
Can we find
My
out
taxes will go
if
up.
they've
It's like, yeah, but your
implemented
fucking
the
healthcare
One
costs
Act, which
will
would
disappear.
then,
So what's worth more to you?
trigger
I knew a kid that flew to Columbia to get dental work. Like, this happened today. I didn't know people were actually doing, like, friends of mine were actually doing that. That shit's bananas. A fraction of the cost of what it was going to cost in New York.
That would be terrific.
Yeah, universal payer
Thank you.
will
Would
never
love to
work.
sign on.
That's why I can never quit
As
the one
amended.
job that I've had my entire life,
All those in
and I have
favor,
to pay
opposed, so
$400 a
ordered.
month also.
Sounds like everybody like to sign on as amended. Mr. Clerk, can you help me reset this for the mayor's next item?
I love that my employer uses health insurance as a way to play God over my livelihood and that of my family.
Okay, Mayor Petty. Item
Christian needed help
11K,
resetting the
request the
timer.
city manager provide the city council the report concerning the impact funding cuts and pauses by the federal government in the amount of $1
Right, but
billion to food banks
Municipal
across the
broadband
country.
company that the city manager specifically
To
cited
food
in
banks
Chattanooga
across the
makes
country
the city money.
May have on food
It's like
distribution in the
revenue
city.
positive,
Mayor Petty.
unlike Polar Park. And it's
Thank you,
about
Mr.
as
Chairman.
expensive as
Just
Polar
to-
Park.
Everything's a moving target, I think, when it comes from the federal government these days. You don't know what's
Polar Park
what's
is
gonna
like the
pass,
only
what's not
time
gonna
that Worcester
pass,
has
what's
ever
gonna change
dreamed big,
tomorrow,
and it
what's
was
not
for
gonna
somebody
change.
else.
It goes back to what it was, but this is serious.
And if there's anything that the city of
Uh,
Worcester is like
and-
would lose money on, that's only because we're not
food bank, Worcester
adjusting
County Food
our
Bank
revenue in the form of our tax base
Canceled, was
appropriately.
notified
Right.
that they've lost 17
It's not like
truckloads of food
it's
from April 1st.
not like we just went on
to
we got drunk and went on a shopping bender,
That's
right? Like
18%
it's
of the
we
scheduled
just suck at
deliveries.
math as a city.
18% of their business. That's a big gap. And I know they're going
That's
to try to
whatever,
use some of the
man.
money
I'm
to buy
ready
the
for the
food,
Chinese
but
century.
they're not in position to buy the food, right? They're in
Mr.
position to help
Payne,
people.
whenever you're ready.
And you're talking billions of dollars. I think I worked with Gina Puenanina about we put a letter signed by 29 mayors about the SNAP program, and which, to our Congress, to the Congress, the Senate, to the House members here in the state of Massachusetts to look at this, because You're talking about cutting.
That would be great. The
proposed
exterior of the building would make
budget
more sense then.
Reconciliation. I think it's like a $230 billion cut. You're talking a lot of money.
The way things are
You're
going,
talking
we'll
a lot
just
of
be
people.
turning
You know,
Polar
all these
Park
cuts are
into
going
a
after really
Bitcoin server
low-income
farm
people.
in 30 years.
By the suggestions.
They cool it with polar water.
It's gonna put us on the
So
map.
right now,
They're
you
gonna
have the
be
food bank
saying
probably
that,
purchasing
we're gonna be
$250,000 each
the
month to make up for
blockchain
this
capital of
work.
New England.
$12 million.
It's gonna be a really good
You
thing.
still can't fill the gap.
Then we have the canal right
So
there. It
this is something we need to
cools
look at
off
as a
the
city,
servers.
Making sure that our food banks are stocked. We just opened up a food bank last week, the week before at Doherty High School, because the need is so great. The food banks, they're looking for food. When you talk to anybody who manages the food bank, the lines are out the door.
The food bank.
The lines are out the door.
It sounds like
Looking
he's
for
about to
help
say
and
FUPA.
assistance. Now we have this cut
When he
that's
says
going
food
to
bank.
impact us directly starting in April. So how do we make that food bank up, Mr. Manager? Something we needed to talk about as a
How would
as
we
a
make that
council,
FUPA
as a
up?
City manager, and making sure that people do not go hungry here in the city of Worcester. And so we got my support. I know the council support on this.
You wrap
we
up your
go back
comments,
like
please.
in 2023 or something. Food bank lost like $5
You wrap-
million. I think after COVID came out, and they were trying. They still couldn't fill the gap of all the need that's out there. So I just wanted to, Mr. Manager, if we can all think out of the box here. Maybe get a meeting with the food bank, Worcester County Food Bank, and people who.
I love
address
it.
food
I love it when
insecurity on
a
regular
politician says
basis.
that they're going to
Really
think
plan
outside
this,
of the
work whether we
box.
work
That
on
means
this
that
together,
they're going just to
or other
defer to
organizations here in the city.
anybody else.
So,
Anybody else
thank you,
got
Mr.
an idea?
Anybody have a box I could think
All
in?
those in favor,
Yeah.
opposed, so ordered.
You hear it a lot, but there's two things when you're thinking outside the box. That does not mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean there's no box and there's no thing. Rolling up your sleeves to get to work. There's no sleeves and you're not rolling them up.
We're gonna do
ordinance.
Speaking of
Yes.
Woo Fridges,
Gloria?
I think they have some leads. It sounds like I'm not sure if they scored one, but they're looking for a fridge.
Councilor Carlson?
They need a replacement fridge. If anybody
Councilor Hayda?
has
Councilor Basillo?
Yes.
a lead on
Russell?
fridge or is replacing there
Yes.
soon,
Yes.
should absolutely reach out to
Yes,
Woo Fridges.
12C,
and let
motion to
them
accept and
know.
adopt. All those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
Either
12D,
way, I think you should
12F,
reach out and let them know if you have
accept.
one.
All those in favor, opposed, so ordered. 13A and 13B, advertised proposed ordinance, roll call.
Fucking light speed, Joe.
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
Councilor G.A.?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Carlson?
Yeah, the Boynton's
Councilor
kitchen
Yan?
closes at 11, which is a change because it used to be like a 1
We're on
a.m. kind of kitchen.
13A and 13B.
But ever since COVID, it closed at 11. So
Joe needs his chicken bomber before bed.
yeah.
I think it's a traffic item, so.
Think he's not a tugboat guy?
Councilor Hayda?
Yes.
Councilor Basillo?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
He just likes saying it. They let him order it, but they bring him the chicken bomber anyways.
C,
Because
motion
he
to
enjoys
accept
saying
and
it.
adopt. All those in favor, opposed, so ordered. 13J.
You know
and
what's real good at the
13P,
Boynton?
motions to accept. All those in favor, opposed, so
The
ordered.
tuna sashimi plate.
It actually is really good.
It's really good at the
14A
Boynton.
to 14Z,
It's
motion
like
to
surprisingly
accept.
very
All those
good.
in favor,
I
Probably
want to
the
know
best,
what
like,
prompted you to order that for the first
I
time.
was gonna say I would never order it in the first place. Respect.
My dad
Bergman?
ordered it,
Yes.
and I was like,
Calorio?
"Dad, that's crazy. You would order that
Look
here?"
next
He's
door.
G.A.?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
He's
They
like,
do a
Carlson,
seared tuna
Councilor
steak
Yan,
that's actually
Councilor Hayda?
fantastic too.
Yes.
Councilor
Yeah.
Basillo?
Yes.
And like they
Yeah,
might have the
both,
best
yeah.
cheap
Yes.
wasabi in the city.
15B.
Like
to
if you're the kind of
15AA,
person that
or
can
the
smear
roll call,
wasabi paste on your gums and be
Councilor
happy with
Bergman?
it,
"Oh
like
yeah."
Yes.
that's your fucking
Calorio?
jam right
Yes.
there.
Councilor G.A.?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
When I worked at the Solo, when I was making up
Councilor Yan?
wasabi from
Councilor
the
Hayda?
paste, I would
Yes.
like
Councilor Basillo?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
invite
Councilor Toomey?
fucking
Yes.
whoever the new
Come
guy
here,
was
buddy.
that week over.
Yes.
And I wouldn't show him what I was
Motion to
doing.
adjourn. All those in
And I'd be
favor,
mixing it up, and I'd be like,
opposed,
"Come here, I need you to smell this. I need you to see if it's
Did you
okay."
guys see,
And now I
did you
hand
guys
it
see
over.
what Mo just did? Did you guys see what Mo just did?
What did
Did he just slip in his chair?
You know, he tried to like performatively like throw all the paperwork in the trash and he missed it and it went everywhere.
Oh, dude, we gotta
And then he had
rewind.
to like roll over and pick it up.
Dude, hold on. Facebook should be live automatically. 1 second. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up. I just gotta adjust where my sound's coming out of.
I should be able to do it here.
Oh yeah, we got it.
Councilor Bergman,
Yes.
You want
Councilor
it?
Calorio,
Yes.
Councilor G.I.,
Yes.
Councilor King,
Yes.
Councilor Carlson,
He's reading
Councilor
everything
Ian,
studiously.
Councilor Ojeda,
Yes.
Councilor Pasillo,
Yes.
Councilor Russell,
Yes.
Councilor Toomey,
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Yes. Motion is to adjourn.
Counting the pages.
All those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
You fucking douche, man.
Run it again. Run it again. It's too good.
Just loop it forever. That's gonna be.
D, motion to accept. All those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
Dude, what a,
Come
what a
on.
metaphor for the entire night for this asshole.
Come on, don't freeze on me now. Hold on.
To Dane on the roll call.
There we
15A, roll call.
No, don't do this to me. My friends are here.
Councilor Bergman, Councilor Calorio,
Yes.
Councilor G.I.,
Yes.
Councilor King,
Yes.
Councilor Carlson, Councilor Nguyen, Councilor Ojeda,
Yes.
Councilor Pasillo,
Yes.
Councilor Russell, Councilor Toomey,
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Yes, 15
Come
E,
on.
15 double E.
It's
or
okay.
Dane
It'll
on
be
the
kind
roll
of in
call?
slow
Roll
motion
call.
this way.
Councilor Bergman,
Yes.
Councilor Calorio,
Yes.
Councilor G.I.,
Yes.
Councilor King,
Yes.
Councilor Carlson, Councilor Nguyen,
It's
Councilor
not even
Ojeda,
that far away. You can see
Pasillo,
Donna
Yes.
roll
Councilor
over
Russell,
and put them in.
Yes.
Councilor Toomey,
Yes.
I know right where it
Mayor
is.
Petty.
I don't think anyone's ever
Yes.
missed,
Motion-
ever.
Ready?
Donna just put
Adjourn.
hers in.
All those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
Fucking
The slide
clown.
over. The slide over is what fucking kills me.
I need that. I need that.
Ah.
All right. I need that with the fading over the end of Star Wars Episode 6 when all like the Ewoks and everyone are celebrating. Yeah, eat shit.
Yub
Mo.
nub dance.
Yub yub.
Man,
Oh my
that made it all worth it. All
Um,
the damn bullshit tonight. Oh God, that was really.
That's awesome. Good catch. I would have completely missed that. That's so good.
Yeah. So listen, we won the one thing that needed to be a win tonight. Even if it
Yep.
was in the, even if we had to lose all our respect for Jack Murray in the process. Sad. It's sad what happens sometimes, but these are the risks we take by living our lives in public and expecting things out of our public figures like Jack Murray. They can disappoint you, and that just is what it is, folks. And we have to take appreciate those who actually did the right thing, and then just implore Jack to do better. And in the meantime, just stop talking, please.
You know what they say? They'd never meet your heroes, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's so true. That is absolutely so true. God,
So
that's such a good point. Yep.
Yeah. That's on God too. That's a fact. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that dumb item went down. Now when later in larger terms, they can have a discussion about Jack, I don't know, you're just never gonna diss me. It's impossible for you to diss me. I try and be helpful to you, and you just are such a fucking dillweed sometimes.
Jack, I was gonna get you that T-shirt. Now you're just gonna have to Venmo request me. Just gonna have to Venmo request me $20. No T-shirt. No T-shirt for you.
Yep. Sorry, sucker. All right, sucker.
Caber's comment reminds me. Best part of the meeting, definitely by far, was George Russell loudly voting no against extending the public comment. No.
Yep. Pretty great. See, this is like the thing is that's fun is that Jack's ego is so like outsized, and his like he's so fucking frail. He can't drop anything no matter how far down the rabbit hole he's gone.
Yeah, like we're just joking around, dude. Chill.
He cannot. He has to. He's so damaged. He's such a damaged little boy that he cannot let any slight go. He's so concerned about what if anyone's ever going to get one up on him. And it's a great part of this show. So I do want you to not change. It is just fun that we have the power to mute you for 10 minutes at a time whenever we feel like it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna Venmo request $30 from Jack tonight. And you better give me I'll give you a t-shirt for it. I will give you a t-shirt for it. So
you could have got a free one if you came to the show, Jack. We were hitting them out into the crowd.
You stupid idiot.
Everybody went home with a t-shirt last show.
Yeah.
Do you have a t-shirt cannon, Travis?
No, we had a t-ball,
okay.
tee, and a baseball bat, and a really good idea.
Yeah. We almost
I'd love a professional
few
t-shirt
people. You'd get one. They're only like $300.
I know. It's just I don't have to buy t-shirts, or
we got a bunch of Woot Nitty t-shirts to fire off, pal.
I just feel like that would be a fun thing in public. You know, it's just drive around in a car, just launching t-shirts at unwilling participants.
Hey,
anytime you see a crowd,
who wants a free shirt? And then everyone loves it. I mean,
everyone loves a
There's
t-shirt.
a reason they stopped using them at the sporting events. Like somebody got really hurt, if I remember correctly. And they stopped using t-shirt cannons.
I'm sure that's true, but
Ned Flanders' wife.
I'm not entirely
Right off the
impressed
back of
by the person who got hurt by a flying t-shirt.
We almost took somebody out with a t-shirt, but that was because Doug hit a fucking line drive straight into the back.
I did. I did a bad one too.
Yeah. You had a real shank. You had a real shanked fucking ball there.
Yeah.
It was going straight in.
I was worried. I'm a lefty, and that tee was built for right-handed hitters, so it's not my fault.
Okay, please.
Oh yeah, Ruben.
Hell yeah. Anybody that was there and didn't get a shirt, they got a shirt in not their size and want to exchange it. We still have a bunch. And if anybody was there and didn't get a shirt and wants one, hit me up. I'll get you a shirt. And if you weren't there, fucking come out to a show, you loser.
Yeah,
it's not that expensive. It's $10.
Katie got a shirt.
Yeah, it's a fun time. So I think all in all, a great night tonight. I think we can all agree we had a blast.
It was a great night. We had our own little sort of like Adam Freeland on Come Town dynamic with Jack Murray the entire time, which was great. That was cool. And George Russell voting no loudly in public comment, and Mo Bergman losing. I mean, that's all good stuff. That's three good things happening during one of these sessions. That's pretty much more than we can hope for.
Colleen East.
Colleen East
happened tonight. Yeah.
Somebody has to make that. Somebody has to make the Facebook account for Colleen East.
And it's just the same. It's the picture of the dog with the colors inverted.
Yes. And they talk about single-payer healthcare all the time.
Let's do that. Somebody do that. We'll have a lot of fun with that.
We should start just emailing Colleen like the guest link like every time.
Just add her to the list. So she's like the reporter from the Atlantic.
Yes.
Yeah, just put her in our group chat.
Oh, if she's in our group chat, dude, we'd be in trouble.
We'd be in so much trouble.
Maybe in trouble.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, great night all in all. We had a wonderful time. Everybody else did. All agreed. And yes, it's going to be a great year. We're going to have a blast. This isn't the last year this country is existing, so it's going to be fun and cool. Colleen lives approximately 2 blocks away from me. She lives in D1.
I was going to say, she's D1 because her husband tried to run.
Yeah. So great job tonight, everybody. We appreciate you hanging out tonight. Make sure that, as always, you are subscribed to Worcester Sucks, and I love it. WorcesterSucks.email at Worcester_sucks, BillShaner.substack.com for your subscription.
That's right, baby.
Find the links to buy t-shirts, buy some merch from Bill.
Yeah, but big cartel. He's on the thing.
Yeah, it's all in there. You can find it.
No, wait, Colleen, hold on. Colleen West husband's name is Adam. Adam West.
I don't think that's true.
That'd be so.
I think it's a fun. I think it's a goof. I think it's a little goofy.
My God,
goof. That's an April Fool's. See, that's a good April Fool's.
That's a great
okay?
April Fool's.
That's a great April Fool's. Great job, Chris.
Yeah.
You could teach the Wendy's Corporation a thing or two.
Dude, the Wendy's Twitter. God.
Anyway. This is just a side plug. Everybody, listen to. I've plugged the show before, but 16th Minute of Fame is a great show about the internet and internet culture. And the last few episodes have been about corporate Twitter.
I gotta listen to that.
Yeah, the kind of people that run those accounts that ran, the Wendy's account and the Steakums account. Great. Yeah. And read Jamie's book, Raw Dog, about the history of hot dogs, in which the Worcester Hot Dog Safari does get a cool shout out.
Oh, hell yeah.
She calls it canonically cool. It's great. It's a great book. But so follow at Wounded Comedy as well, because we got a lot of shows coming up. We are taking over. There's a monthly Thursday night show at Boland's Bar. The first Thursday of every month, this Thursday. We're taking that show over. It's a free show. Boland's is a great bar. Shuggy, the owner, is a cool, nice guy, and we're going to be running that show from now on. So come down and hang out with us. It's a free show. It's absolutely free. We want to get a big crowd down there for the first one. Liam McGurk and Holly Johnston are the comics, and it's going to be a fun time. So we get another hot dog coming up on 4/25, April 25th. So come on down. Again, free show. We're giving this shit away, everybody.
Giving away giggles, guys.
Come on. So come on out to that. That's down at Coney Island. Subscribe to us here on Twitch. Come hang out with us, and we love to hang and be. If you need the Discord link, hit me up if you didn't get it yet, and follow us at WCT3000 on Instagram to see all our cool reposts and threatening Trans Day of Visibility stories. So thank you all again for hanging out tonight. We love you so much, and we will see you next Tuesday. Bye. See